Then and now, we got the crown when we rock the town. Hot sound keep us breaking ground while we chillin' lounge. 3 generations, black nerd soldiers, podcast snipers trying to pop culture. Allegedly, haters try to talk, but a pedigree in rare form.
Welcome everybody to the Then and Now podcast. This is the spooky edition. We have a full panel today, everybody. We are joined by the usual co-hosts. Captain, Professor E, King of the Comics, Ethan Murphy, and Lelouch V. But we are joined by the illustrious and beautiful Danny. Welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Y'all know me. I don't need an introduction, bro. Yeah, y'all. This is the episode I've been looking forward to. We're getting into some spooky topics here. There's a lot of things to get into with the show. We're going to be discussing Uzumaki. We want to get into a countdown, which we haven't done in the pod in a while. But yeah, guys, to start though, I want to open the floor up with a conversation that me and Otis started when he came out here for a convention in September, and we kind of had this in the car when I picked him up in the airport. But I want you guys to dig deep in your brains and your hearts and think of Hollywood directors that are either well-known or maybe ones that are favorite to you that aren't traditionally known for doing horror content that you would like to see within the genre that you think would be a good fit for that. We can start with
real quick. Do you mean do they have to be living, or can they have been deceased?
They can be dead too.
Okay, and could they have been? Could they have worked primarily animation, or does it have to be only live action?
As long as they didn't do horror primarily, I think it works.
Okay, all right. Make sure I got you.
I'm immediately gonna break that rule. I'm sorry, Charlie, but you'll see when I answer. You'll see when I answer.
You got your answer, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can I answer now? Should I answer now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you said they can be dead, right?
Yes.
I wish Lon Chaney could come back right now and direct right now. That's why my answer is what it is, because Lon Chaney did traditionally make horror films. Sometimes he made all types of films, but I wish he could come back now. He was like the first person to like put makeup effects in movies, and like he only had cotton and latex, and I can only imagine what that person would make now if that mind and that imagination was alive right now in 2024. So that's my answer.
Was he ever behind the camera? Because I know he was oftentimes obviously the
Hanji directed and he was behind the camera. Okay. So like he was doing everything back then, which I feel like was a lot more common when cinema was very new.
Yeah.
Especially in horror, like lower budget things.
Right. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'll go ahead and get it out the way for me. Y'all know how I feel about Quentin Tarantino films. I think his style would translate very well just off the fact that he does really well at building tension within scenes, and that really tight dialogue. Like I'm trying to imagine, obviously I'm not imagining Sam Jackson in like a horror film where he gets to either be the villain or he's evil, he gets the monologue, almost on some Homelander type of timing. I think that would be amazing to see in a horror film. I don't know what kind of movie it would be, like it's a monster flick or a ghost possession thing, but bringing forth the actors that he normally works with Sam, Christoph Waltz, and those kind of guys in a horror movie, I mean, I think that would be fire. I think
so. You're talking about more.
You had a small glimpse of it with Grindhouse years back.
Yes, the first chapter especially was much more than Death Proof, but yeah, very much. So I think it had anything to do with the maybe he did have a little bit with what's the Planet Terror? Is it called Planet Terror?
Planet Terror.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's more. That may have been more Rodriguez, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I think if we're going with suspense here for both of y'all, for both Danny and for Charlie, if we are doing as far as like full blown horror / thriller / like kind of like kind of suspense, yeah, Tarantino's dialogue can really work well for that. It's having really ratcheting up the tension. I mean, he did. I would argue that the first 20 minutes of Inglourious Basterds is a horror movie.
Right.
There's no reality.
I feel like there are glimpses of violence. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Like one of my favorite scenes of all time, like on camera, like effects, is in Kill Bill. When she is just slashing everybody up, and I can just imagine what that day on set was like. But that's definitely terrifying.
Yeah,
I love that scene.
That'd be sick.
Because didn't they have to make it black and white because it was so much blood? It would have been like NC-17 otherwise. So I mean, that's telling you something there.
I don't know actually, but that's great if it is.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised.
Oh, I just can hear the music in my head right now that goes along with it.
That could be a stylized thing, knowing Tarantino though.
It could be that too. It could be. I mean, that does roll nicely into Uzumaki later on. But one thing I want to add, because I'm an old man, I have an old man brain, Danny. What Lon Chaney was, he was the Wolfman, the original Wolfman, right?
Wolfman, Hunchback of Notre Dame, tons of stuff. Like if you look him up, it's everything.
Okay, that's what
Lon Chaney was involved with many things, but he's like one of the grandfathers of effects and of horror in general.
Yes, he's a goat. Because for me, Otis and Charlie, I know this. My favorite type of creature, even outside of zombies, is werewolves. And one of my favorite things in all of cinema is the transformation in American Werewolf in London. So if you could do something along the lines of that, I mean, maybe I would say again, I can't say Rick Baker or even because they've already done that kind of stuff in the past. But if you could find I think if who could do a modern director that hasn't already dipped their toes in anything horror that could bring a transformation like that to life, that could really go triple down on an amazing transformation. Woo, buddy, that could be, man. You know who may be able to do something like that, who actually has done other things, because of what Catherine Bigelow did with the Hurt Locker. The whole movie is pretty much suspense with bombs going off. If you can find a way for the idea of a ticking clock where a person's getting ready to transform or to try to hold off an invasion of zombies or something like that, maybe
go
she
crazy.
can get the kitchen well enough to pull it off.
Who you got from me, Otis? Anybody? I mean, we said a couple when I was there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go just to one of the ones that we talked about, but I would love to see like a Scorsese horror movie, like something super psychological and like gritty.
Oh yeah.
Like with a hyper winding story that you really don't fully understand the full depth of until you get to the end of it. Like something like that, I feel like it translates to a crazy energy.
Yeah. Especially after seeing like the Killers of the Flower Moon and like the type of like psychological sequences he has there, where you're not sure what reality. I think you do really well with that.
Because if you can combine Shutter Island and like Mean Streets or even like Taxi Driver, those are very much on the edge of like, this is a little too unnatural, creepy. Yeah, this is not human stuff. So yeah, I feel you. One of the one I'll throw in there real quick. I hopefully it counts. I don't know if it counts or not. I would say Darren Aronofsky. That's the dude who did like Black Swan and Mother. I don't know if y'all consider Mother a horror or not, because if you do consider a horror, he's already done it. But he's very much like he borrowed.
That's the one with Octavia Spencer, is it?
Which one?
It's not the one with Octavia Spencer.
Not
that's Maul. That's Maul.
That's Maul. Yeah, that's Maul. Yeah.
Oh, pardon.
That's a horror. That's horror. That's pale. That's
yeah.
That's wild. That's a good movie though, but that's horror.
Yeah.
But no, Mother was the one with Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, and it's meant to be an allegory like for God and everything else. But if he did something, because he wanted to do for the longest time, he wanted to do a crazy gritty like Batman, and I think a crazy gritty Daredevil as well. But if you have his kind of sensibilities with a full blown like balls to the wall horror, it'd probably be something to watch.
Ever.
Director I do not really enjoy as much, but I think would be a better fit for horror. I think Michael Bay would do pretty solid in horror. I'm not gonna lie, with how over the top he is and how much destruction. Like if you give him like a monster flick, if he does
like a kaiju,
I'm trying to think of. Give him a kaiju. Yeah, give him like a. Oh, I don't say kaiju. I don't know about a Godzilla type of film, but maybe like
not necessarily Godzilla, but I mean, if you're doing
you like Barbarian,
big monster.
Large monster. If you give him like the monster from Barbarian, I think he'd do well with something like that.
Yeah,
because it's like nonsensical. It's there. It's just fun. Because I think a lot of the issues with certain directors like that, where it's like, okay, you're not as cohesive writing wise. Give them a monster movie, and it's like, okay, you don't really need a lot of background. You don't need a lot of lore. It's just like make this monster be intimidating.
Yeah, I love that.
That's fair.
That's a great take.
Yeah, I think he do rate that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we've seen it. If you count it to a degree, we've seen it already. But I would love to see like a fully high budget, high level James Cameron horror movie. Like,
oh god,
that could end up looking like. I mean, yeah, we got Terminator. So I mean, yeah.
But that also dips its toe in sci-fi. If you said, let's forget the sci-fi, old school horror with Cameron.
Give him what was it? Give him Jason X.
Fascinating, actually.
Hey, give him Jason X and let him run Cyber Jason, Android Jason.
Let him cook. Give him an Avatar budget for Jason X. That might be great.
Yeah, well, that's another question right there. Do you think horror even works with high budget. Like I know we've seen Jordan Peele stuff with like Nope or whatnot. But I mean, the higher the budget is, I don't know if it can. Sometimes it doesn't quite. I don't know. There's some grime and grit.
Depends on how you spend your money.
Because how much did Alien and Romulus spend on their movie? I'm trying to think real quick.
That couldn't have been a cheap.
Because I love that movie. Don't even start talking about that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we could have a later tonight.
I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait to see that.
Oh,
You
you
haven't seen
haven't seen
Romulus?
it? You are gonna love it. You are gonna love it. You're
No,
gonna
I made
love
2
it.
videos on it.
Yeah, I big 3. But the thing with I think Romulus was like probably 40 or 50. There's no reality, which is like above mid
With
budget.
the CG, I don't know. Because most of the money would be like a lot of the super expensive movies like that would be on the CG.
Yeah, it wasn't on the actors. The actors were all.
A monster, it might be like a super monster flick or maybe like a ghost thing where you need the CGI for it. I think that inherently that's the dope thing about horror is that it's not crazy expensive to make the movies.
Producer man, do you have the budget for Alien Romulus anywhere near your fingertips? I'm gonna look it up.
80 million.
Was 80 really? Okay, I guess this inflation.
The set design, they used a good bit of CG in other parts of it too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the sets did look good. They were good sets, but it did seem
It's such an insane budget.
Because keep in mind too, they're in space a lot too, and so there's a lot of CG with that space stuff.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, part of it they wasted clearly on one person. Like, I'll give it the details on what they did. Too.
Actually, no, because that was a person in there. It was puppeted. Me and Danny talked about that in our review for it.
What's it called? Yeah, we won't get to that right now. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we talked about it. That's like an actual 7'4" guy in there. Yeah. Christopher Nolan, I think would be another person. I think that would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say that actually. I was gonna say that Christopher Nolan could be very interesting. Or again, psychological. That guy loves some psychology. That'd be a good one to watch. You could almost in a way because it teetered on it when he did with what was the one the Prestige, right? The Prestige is all about a person dealing with extreme trauma. If he like tiptoed a little bit further with the trauma he was dealing with, the husband dealing with his boss, with his wife, and the rival, he could get full blown horror.
I would have loved to see him direct Smile too. I'm not gonna lie. I think he would have done really well with Smile. It's like a Smile.
Yeah.
Wait, Smile 2 is already out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped
Okay.
Friday or Thursday night.
Yeah, I went and saw it like
Oh.
I saw it
okay.
Friday, I think.
Okay. We had still in theater. I might go see it.
It's good. Yeah, it's actually doing really well.
Did you have something you were gonna say, Otis? Before we get
You know what
to
I'm saying?
Sorry.
Another one I would imagine, maybe like a Rousseau Brothers, like super tight, action-packed horror, like I don't know, like a more horror Battle Los Angeles type, where you got like some type of force out in the streets, just snatching up people.
Yeah.
Seeing the choreography they did with the Gray Man, I wouldn't mind giving them like literally I want to put these directors in like old horror movies that I think were really bad, give them the Freddy versus Jason movie over again and let them redirect that.
Yeah, because that was more camp than anything else.
Yeah, so we get a better final fight with Freddy and Jason versus I mean, it was what we got was okay, I guess, but I think they could have been better.
At the time, it was enough.
Yes.
Looking back, it could probably have been more.
It could have been a lot.
Y'all
Yeah.
almost-
At the time, it was meant to be just funny. And speaking of that,
Yeah.
though, the dude, what's the director who, Gavin, is his name Gavin? No, it wasn't Gavin Hood that did the Raid 1 and Raid 2 also.
Goody man.
Because he's so gritty with what he did. The Raid, you can almost argue the Raid is like close to a horror. If he did a full-blown horror movie, like say, for example, we had our boy Iko Uwais was basically a vampire hunter or something like that. That could be incredible, directed by him. So
That level of intensity and choreography behind the horror. I don't even, would it even be a horror movie anymore? Or like if he's the monster and taking apart regular people like that could be crazy.
make Iko Uwais the monster. Then do it that way. Yeah, make him.
It'd be a dope thing where you just like takes apart like a special like a SWAT unit or something like that.
Yes,
Some Michael Myers type stuff.
that'd be awesome.
It'd be fire. Side note, I just almost drop kicked my dog because he snuck in here
Oh, no, he's
when I wasn't here. I had my headphones on so I couldn't hear him either. I just felt a warm nose, a wet nose on my foot. Like, what is going on? I tried to keep it together. I
don't know if there's ever been an episode without one of my cats in my lap. So
We already saw it.
By your pets, I said hi.
So all we need now is
My
Danny.
dog's around here somewhere. She left.
Oh, she left. She left.
Yeah, she left. She doesn't like filming.
Oh. I think I'm the only one on this show that doesn't have. Even our producer has a cat. I'm the only one on the show that doesn't have an animal or a pet. That's terrible.
Sir, can you get out of my lap, please?
It's not terrible. Some people aren't pet people.
No, I love
Save
pets,
yourself some money.
What'd you get?
Boy,
If I would definitely get a dog. I mean, cats are cool, but I would get a dog.
Oh,
I love puppies.
like a big dog or small dog or a medium dog?
Either small or medium, but my favorite animal of all time is a Frenchies. I love little French bulldogs. The ears.
They're so cute. They're so expensive, though.
They are great, especially you lived in LA before, Danny. You know how they are so hot commodity. Yeah, it's crazy.
speaking of hot commodity,
thousands of dollars.
speaking of hot commodity, let's dive into this show, man. Let's dive into this show. Uzumaki, a show that is a little polarizing, I believe, because I know a lot of people had issues with the later episodes because I think there was issue with some people for the animation. But for the most part, generically, how do you guys feel about the show overall?
I mean, I've never been a fan of Junji Ito, and this fully supports why I'm still not a fan of Junji Ito. I didn't like it.
Really?
Why? So why? I mean, that's a whole. I guess we can get into that too.
So let's like despite the animation, because we know the animation is a solid thing. What is it about the story itself that you don't find like?
Yeah, we got
It's not necessarily the stories. Like his style of body horror has always just rubbed me in the worst way possible. Like I've never been able to fully understand it. Like in certain things, I could handle. Like like the series Parasite the Maxim as a Junji Ito-esque like art style, and it bothered me there. But I don't know. It's just
Does it bother you in a good way or a bad way? How's it bothering you?
not necessarily. Yeah, it's under my skin. It makes me not want to look at it.
That's the point.
That's his job.
This poison tastes bad. You probably shouldn't.
This poison tastes bad.
Like I don't enjoy seeing things. So I mean, in a horror sense, it does its job for me.
Right.
Nothing about how he's put together his stories has ever been like grabbing to me.
I see what you're saying. He is an odd writer. So from the manga, because I didn't read Uzumaki, but I read some of the other stuff that he's done. His storytelling in and of itself, it is almost not jumbled, but the way it kind of jumps around, it's a little odd of a storyteller. He's a much better draftsman or illustrator than he is necessarily a storyteller.
Much better telling like anthologies than trying to tell like a narrative, if that makes any sense. And even his narratives feels choppy. Like, yes, it's the characters like in different places, but it doesn't feel like a cohesive straight line to get from start to finish. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, this show definitely felt like an anthology to me. Because like to your point, it would like the main characters were there, but each side character would get like their own featured episode with the main characters being accompanying them in that aspect.
Right.
Which I don't know.
But even the main characters kind of jumped around in the story at times. Like they were like here, they kind of like, why are we over here now? It was a bit choppy. I give you that 100%.
Yeah, it's hard for me to review a show like this for the factor of it's meant to be so disorienting and weird and off-putting, and I'm like, well, okay, if I feel like it was off-putting, was it supposed to be? Because my big thing when I review stuff, we talked about it before, is like, did you do the job you were trying to accomplish? If you were trying to make me laugh, if it was a comedy or a rom-com and whatever it may be, did you accomplish your mission task? Mm-hmm. And for this show, I felt like it did, because to Otis's point, like the body horror is so distinctive where it's not gory per se, like you would expect. Like with Parasite the Maxim, it was a lot of like intestines or like insides being shown in different ways with like metal being imparted into it. But this is literally just like him like taking the physiology of a human body and like twisting it up in ways it's not supposed to be. So I'm like, okay, so I feel weird, but I'm supposed to feel weird. If the story's not coherent and characters aren't making a lot of sense, but okay, are they not supposed to make a lot of sense? I don't know. It's weird because his style is very unique, and I haven't seen too many different people that write in that fashion, so I don't know what they can even compare it to, personally.
You can only compare it to
really isn't.
Like it's just it's just a Junji Ito. Like I can't think of anyone that writes in a similar style to him. I mean, the art style has been kind of like adapted to other things, especially in like Japanese horror, but his writing style is completely,
But it does fit with his mind. I mean, if you think about the way what he draws. If you ever watch the videos of him drawing and stuff with the hash, I mean, I can't imagine what the mind of a person who could draw this type of stuff would be like, because it's the overwhelming level of detail is just bananas, and then the things he draws, like Uzumaki, is more sparing than other things he's done. There's some really garish, crazy stuff he's done too.
It's either a lot of drugs, or he is very traumatized as an individual to have that like detailed of stuff.
I must interject here, because the same can be said for makeup effects artists. People think we are really messed up people making the things that we make. I am not messed up like that.
No.
So like, just because of your artist this is where it comes in, where it's like, can you separate the art from the artist? And is that something that the artist does for themselves? When I was creating special effects things, it was just like, how real can I make this look? I didn't have a connection to it in like a deep, messed up way. Some people do. Like Tom Savini, for example, he was like a combat photographer, and like he saw death through a lens in like a way that no one else does. Well, not many people do anyways. And then he interpreted that through makeup effects. So like that meant something different. But like most of these people that are making stuff like this, I'm speaking for special effects artists anyways, aren't messed up people. So
I think the only difference I would give there is when you're, again, stop me if I'm wrong here, but when you're a special effects makeup artist, I'm assuming you get a template or a request of like, hey, we need this thing made for this scene. It's not, there's imagination put into how to make that thing look like that, but you guys aren't imagining the scene itself. When I'm looking at somebody who's writing the story out and writing out like if I'm looking at Stephen King books and how like some things are written, usually as a writer, you're taking things from inspiration either from your life or an event or a dream you had. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's a little different in that regard, but again, I could be wrong. You let me know.
I think that there are cases where you are wrong and cases where you are right, because some makeup effects artists do end up directing and writing things. So I think in that regard, you might be wrong, but just because we have, just because the art you make can be very vulgar or harsh doesn't necessarily mean that that's what that person has like in their spirit or in their mind necessarily, is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right. And I completely agree with that. I think that's obviously very fair of all artists in a sense.
Yeah. I just had to just come in and counteract, be devil's advocate over here.
No, and you're right. I mean, we shouldn't go too far down the path of accusing him of being, because obviously, from all accounts, he's obviously a great guy. He has no history of anything and violating anybody, of course. But it's just the idea too of like, for example, like George Miller, the guy who did the Mad Max series of films. He was a doctor before that. So like you said, with Tom Savini, he was a war photographer. People who have experience around less than normal things that could be pretty much unsettling, those things to affect you. Not to say that you have psychological damage from that, but it does carry over with you. To have the imagination of those type of, it has to come, oftentimes with artists, it does come from somewhere. Art imitates life in some capacity. For example, even with you, Danny, you love creating beautiful things. So for you, even creating, using monster makeup or things of that nature, practical effects, it's a beautiful work of art you're creating. In your mind, it's not horrible, it's not horrific, it's beautiful. So it's something along those lines, if that makes sense.
No, so that's true.
Yeah, I think also with Ito too, and this is something that happened to a lot of other like Miyazaki, who from Studio Ghibli. A lot of the artists in Japan back in the day, they were influenced by growing up in the era, kind of in the post, growing up in a world after WW2, after a bomb dropping. So hearing all the horrific stories from their parents as far as what it's like to survive that kind of a world, or grow up in the remnants of that kind of a world, it's going to affect your mentality and your mindset too. You're almost seeing a ghost world, or you almost grew up in a post-dystopian type of world in some sense too. So it's those things can affect your storytelling and affect the way you see the world as a whole, I think.
It's
for sure. I agree with you.
Let me saying that, I wanted to clarify. It's not, because I've talked about it before on the show. Why one of the reasons I love horror so much is because I think most people in it are good people. I think it's when I say trauma, I don't mean like he's been through like this amount of abuse or whatever it may be, but in regards to like seeing certain things, like for you to understand like how the human body can be dismantled or assembled in certain aspects. To your point, like with Savini, like I'm assuming you've seen this kind of viscera, whether it's in the battlefield or, again, if you're a nurse, you're cutting people open for a living and seeing what the physiology looks like or the anatomy of the human body is. Or some people, I think like Stephen King, where you just do a lot of research and you find out what it is you're looking for there. I don't even know, but with Junji's stuff, it's different. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it because even within like horror movies itself, I can't think of too many directors that have like, or even special effects teams that have done stuff like that. Like you've seen it to an extent as far as like people being like stuffed in the boxes and things like that, but I don't know. He has a certain style. It's different.
Some people just have strange gifts. I need to see the show now.
Also, check out the manga as well, Danny. The page is how the real page is how it's like
okay.
a lot more HD than the show was. But
I mean, but the series itself centers around spirals and people getting pulled into spirals in some way, shape, or form, and it just makes people's bodies move in a cylindrical fashion that it wasn't supposed to move in. And that is kind of like is it that arcing theme of the series? Cause like, I mean, even the city itself becomes a spiral by the end of it. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry that I'm going too spoiler.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I literally don't care about spoiler alerts.
It's just finding ways to put spirals in places to make you as uncomfortable as physically possible. That is the name of this series.
Okay.
Because part of it too is this is what doesn't exist in the mangas is the overall tone. Like you can add, it has kind of like it's not even music at times. It just plays a weird like death tone. Like last night Charlie played.
I like that. I can't wait to hear the.
It had a very similar tone played through it kind of the whole way through as far as like it just unnerve you always. The way people scream and obviously in the mangas you can see the reactions on their faces, but in the show you actually get a chance to hear people screaming at stuff a lot. Because I've seen some pages from Uzumaki, but I'd never seen the way the main character's mom reacts to certain things when she's literally, spoiler alert, cutting off her hair and then cutting off her fingertips because they have spirals on them. And the way it's like, that is unsettling. Animation aside, that's unsettling to see somebody like so distraught that they're cutting their own fingertips off because they're afraid they have spirals on them. And they're just like, the added effect of having some kind of audio really, really goes the extra mile.
It does like a similar thing that like we talked about Smile earlier, in regards to taking things that are ordinary and mundane and making them scary. Like we talked about with Smile, how like the human smile is something you kind of like in most instances isn't horrifying, but it turns something that's normal for you to see every day and made it a horrifying thing. In that show, I didn't realize how many spirals you see in like everyday society. Like from like the styles of hair to like again, like to your point, the creative one was the fingerprints.
My hair all the time. Oh my gosh.
I think the most interesting one too, even if it wasn't a literal spiral, it was like very poetic, was the couple episode where it was this young couple it was like, I guess, Romeo and Juliet type of forbidden romance thing. And for them to never be torn apart again, their whole bodies like spiral together in like a worm monster type of thing. It's something where I'm like, I didn't think of that. That's
I love that.
Interesting
metaphor, but it works.
Right.
It also
I need to watch this.
I think you would. There are things about it you would definitely appreciate. It does with a person dealing with psychology, but how she's so afraid of spirals, and she finds out that the I forgot the actual name, the medical term for it, but inside your ear, the inside of your inner ear,
cocula.
Yeah, the cocula, right? That's some of the C.
Yeah, I believe
so. How it looks like a spiral. If you saw the diagram of it.
Yep, it does.
And it is actually real. Once she finds out about that, she's like, I gotta deal with that. So she, of course, is like, I'm gonna grab these pair of scissors and jam it in there and tear it out. And it is horrific. Once the idea of if you were determined to remove any of those spirals from your life, how disturbing it would get.
It's the stuff like this where, because when I heard all the complaints about the animation, I honestly didn't even notice such like the super downgraded animation because I was so locked in on the actual story, and then I feel like with the art style, the animate, like whatever, you don't need at least for me personally, you don't need a super in-depth like really like polished animation for something like this.
I definitely don't need that. I kind of like stuff like that. I like stuff like that.
I thought it was fun.
I thought the awkward animation kind of added to the eeriness of it, like to the tone overall. and it's just everything about this, from how the characters talked to the way the scenes were built, was just so unsettling in some way. So I give them credit for doing that consistently.
Yeah.
And again, it's just the stuff like, if you see it in real life, of course you're gonna be like,
There's no.
"Dear Lord!" I mean, you're gonna scream. You're just gonna scream like they would. So I mean,
That'd be done.
I give them credit for that. Like, it just, something about this just did not resonate with me properly, or maybe I missed kind of the point. And it's just like,
Right. I don't think there is a
That's
point.
always kind of my question, though. That's always kind of my question with like horror themed things. Is the point just to make you uncomfortable? Is it good that you didn't like it? Is that the point of the whole show? Or I don't know. That's always a question that I have with certain films and shows, and this kind of sounds like one of them. I'm really interested to watch this.
like the part that, what was the point though? What was the actual point?
I
Showing
feel like it
each of
may
these person's experiences, just saying like, oh, the whole city's a spiral, everybody's gone. Like,
it may have been one of those things where it's a challenge, almost like if Uzumaki's like, you know what, can this simple shape, can I make it horrifying? The same way Charlie said, can I smile?
Yeah.
Can you make a smile terrifying? Can you make a simple shape horrifying? The idea of that, and I feel like he pulled that off. I think also going to what y'all said, the aesthetics by having, because before they tried doing this, where they adapted his the Junji Ito collection in color, and having color for it really doesn't work. None of his work is ever in color as far as when it's manga and it's printed up. When they tried to adapt it in color, in the animated series before, it took away from it in some sense. Having it in black and white, for some reason, that kind of it adds to the kind of the dreary aesthetic, essentially, almost like the original Night of the Dead from like the 60s or whatnot. Kind of felt like that in a sense, and the way that people are dressed.
Night of the Living Dead, for sure.
So it kind of feels like it's harking back to that kind of weird, forgotten era. Essentially, like this, like you're by yourself in the middle of nowhere with no technology or no saviors to help you. It's just you and dirt. So it kind of, all that kind of plays into it really well. Like Otis said too, any of these things, I mean, literally any of these things, if you saw them in real life, you'd be like, I'm done. I am done. There's a part where people get turned into snails, right? And it becomes more and more common. But if we were hanging out right now and we saw Charlie starting to turn into a snail, or saw his tongue wrap around itself, we'd be like, I will never sleep again. I don't want to eat food ever again. Yeah, it's the simplest little things.
To get into the biology aspect, the color thing you were talking about there, like us as human beings, or even sometimes just mammals in general, or just living beings, have on the color spectrum, certain colors and certain patterns make us uncomfortable. So we have the whole thing where like certain animals in the wild are having certain, like, they're not poisonous animals, they're not dangerous animals, but they have certain patterns on them to make you stay away from them, to do that. And I think with certain colors in animation, like certain brighter colors and certain patterns make you feel, at least they're supposed to make you feel happier or more welcoming to that thing. And for it to be pure black and white, it's kind of cold. So you're not like your eye doesn't immediately like want to get drawn to it. It's almost like it's, I don't know how to explain it. I gotta look at the actual.
Sterile. It's like sterile.
Yeah. There's no solace. There's no place where you feel comfortable watching it.
There's nowhere to turn for comfort. You can't look at the animation. There's like, you're forced to just be locked in with whatever's going on in this. I can't wait to watch this.
We gotta do like a reaction of Danny watching.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The music adds into it as well, because you talked about it.
It is.
I've talked about the Devil's Tritone a couple times on here in regares to like certain.
I'm still done.
Yeah, Danny.
It's terrifying.
Danny must know it.
It's terrifying. It feels evil when it's played. It's like there's no mistaking that tritone. There's no mistaking it.
So they didn't have it in here per se, but
Hear it.
it was kind of a similar thing where like some of the chords and things were very eerie, and like you can try to ignore it, but it's hard to.
I mean, you don't know that. I would need to know more about like what they're using to make this music, because if you have a synthesizer, I have some experience with that, and you can do a lot of very unsettling things with synthesizers.
Have you played
So
a
I would have to-
tone before on a synthesizer?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. But I mean, it's really hard to know. In the way that I learned how to use synthesizers, it was very like explorative. and you stumble across some very eerie sounds sometimes. So I would love to know how this audio is made. I'm always fascinated to know how audio is made with horror movies, because there's so many ways to make unsettling sounding quotes.
Yeah.
Just to give people watching that haven't seen prior episodes to kind of give an explanation of what the Devil's Tritone is. Essentially, way back in the day, well, first off, it's a chord that you get when you play 3 different notes and they reverberate together, and that combined tone gives this like really eerie, it makes like almost like a magical fourth note that it's like a phantom note that makes you just uneasy. It was so much so to the point the Catholic Church, I don't know when exactly, maybe like the 16th century, they prohibited that use of that note and that chord within any of their music that they made going forward. So it was like illegal to use for a long time. But music in that way is like, especially in horror, like in certain notes are used to, or certain sounds are used to make you feel at a place of unease with just the music itself. And this is how powerful it is. Like music can really fuck you up.
That also reminds me of Jaws.
Right.
I think that's a minor second interval. I hope I'm not wrong. That's so embarrassing if I'm wrong. But it's so uncomfortable. And as soon as you hear those 2 notes, all you need to hear is those 2 notes. You're like, oh my God, Jaws.
Yeah, it works.
It does. You like the score of the film and whatever is happening on screen you can't have one without the other.
I completely agree. Yeah, and we're going to get a little bit more into this later on, but I'm pretty sure most of y'all have seen Terminator 2, right? Okay. So in Terminator 2, and Cameron has finally admitted how he did mimic a little bit of Jaws with the T-1000. Anytime he shows up, he always says it does a da. When he shows up, he's walking up towards the house when he's chasing after them. He has his own little theme music too. So having music, like you said, is very much a part or a hallmark of horror, having some kind of sound for it. We all know Michael Myers has his from Halloween. I think Freddy has one too. I know Jason has one.
Yeah.
Yes.
The nursery
keep skipping rope and everything. So
yeah, if you build a connotation to music, bro, like you can instill fear without having to see that thing or hear that thing, because you already know it's that cue for it.
Right on. And on the reverse end too, having complete dead silence. Like, I mean, we saw Smile 2, and Smile 2 when it got dead silent, it's like, or if they're looking at a hallway, or it's a dark image with nothing there, it's like, that is woo. No.
Yeah, I agree. There's a place for silence in music and in film and in all forms of audio. Silence is definitely a tool that needs to be used and should be used.
If you use it right, boy. Oh my God, that tension. Because you hear the phrase, just tension so thick you can cut it. Like, I think that's a lot of what that is. That silence builds that like imaginary like obstacle in between you or in the room. Like you feel like you're drowning in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good job, man. Y'all want to give like our final thoughts on the show itself, or did y'all have anything else in depth you want to kind of speak on with it? Because at least for me, it's hard to like pick a singular thing to like really deep dive on.
It's so eclectic. Like, it's not your typical narrative in any way. It is a bunch of stories about people's lives in this town being all disturbed in some way about dealing with these spirals, whether they are, becoming terrified of spirals, spiraling together, it's just,
the puns are there. The puns are there.
It's a spiral. It's about how to unhinge people with spirals in every way that you could imagine. Putting it,
but like, is that not? That's so symbolic, though. Like, every unhinged experience is like a spiral. It just gets out of control. I cannot wait to watch this.
Yeah, it's spiraling. Because the thing is, too, is that it's very much by the end, it does have a very symbolic, literal metaphor that as characters are falling deeper and deeper into a spiral, how they're spiraling out of control, the world is going mad. Everyone there it gets to the point where people are giving in to their baser instincts. I'll leave it at that. And it's just seeing that. For me, that's some of the biggest horror. Is when real people, give in to base instincts. Zombies are cool, werewolves, vampires, whatever.
Yeah.
But people that have sentience, that just say, "I don't give an F. I'm gonna go monster on you." That's
Oh, I can't.
and this very much shows that it progresses over and over and over further down as the series goes on. So I would say my greatest takeaway that I have for this ultimately is just how Ito found a way to get under our skin or into our minds by showing us how what psychopathy looks like in the shape of a spiral, how it can destroy you. Yeah.
It definitely felt like a writing exercise, to your point, like you said earlier. Like, I feel like he was like shooting the shits with his friends, or maybe it's something we did a review on like the origins of Dragon Ball back in the day. Like maybe he's in the kitchen writing, and his wife is like, "Hey, you want this? What's the dish that you have in ramen? Like the Uzumaki thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a fish cake, with a spiral on it.
He's
Is that what it is? Okay, I know that was the exact name for it.
Yeah.
Like he just like gets one of his ramen one day. He's like, you know what? I want to write a story about that. He just like
I bet
goes
you that,
from there.
I bet you that. I mean, this guy come from somewhere.
Cause yeah, it was great though. I honestly, I think from a narrative standpoint, again, it's not a cohesive narrative, but the symbolism there and the metaphors are very interesting. And to Ethan's point, the way he wrote the human mind and how, I guess, from a sociological aspect, how people give into, like you said, that feral and basic cardinal instinct, whether it be greed or lust in some instances with certain characters where they just really needed this woman or whatever it may be. It was very interesting to see. It was very interesting to see.
Yeah, I take it.
Gotta go give it a rating out of 10.
I'm gonna go high, man. I'm sorry, Otis. I'm gonna say 9 because it's just I get it. Is you can't ever translate the detail of Ito's work to animation. You can't. It's impossible. But I feel like what they added to the animation with the music and the voice acting, they use a lot of extreme close-ups, also showing people's eyes as they're looking at something that was terrifying, like how freaky it would be to see it in real life. So I gotta give it a 9, man, for what they tried to experiment. Gotta give it a 9.
I think I give this thing rating too. Leave it a 9 as well.
I can't even give it a low score. It's just a question mark. Like,
Question mark is a spiral. You know that question mark is a spiral. So
yeah, I guess so. So you know what? That's my score. No, I give it a spiral because I don't know how to quantify what I saw. Like, I usually grade things by, character development, story development, the overall grasping of the plot progression. This had none of those, and I think it was intentional.
right.
So I don't know how to grade this. I just know that, I mean, if the goal was to be unsettling, it accomplished that. If the goal was to give a metaphor for, what's happening within the world, that I can see that as well. But saying this is like a high tier thing where I'm scoring it high, I can't say that either because I don't know how to quantify it.
That's
Fair enough.
That's
Fair enough.
Real.
We give Spiral a
I
Spiral
can't
out of
rate
10.
it yet.
Danny gives it a
I give it also a spiral because I don't know yet. So,
other direction. Spiral.
2 spirals.
Spirals.
And also a 9 looks like a spiral too. So there's all
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Are you ready to go ahead and get into your segment? E?
Always, yeah, always. I figure we could probably obviously start off with our guest star. So do you want to do this old school way where we do like, I guess obviously start at number 10, start at the bottom of our list.
Yeah.
That we do like all of us share our number 10s or all of us share like 10 through.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, each number for all.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got sorry about that.
Like what is
So what we're doing? Our producer man,
It's like we haven't done the podcast for 3 years.
Forever. Our producer man on the ball. What we're doing right quick, y'all, because again, it is Halloween spooky season. We're getting into one of my favorite categories in all of storytelling, which is of course characters. And when it comes to horror or suspense or thriller, there tends to be a very particular niche type of character known as the final girl. This is not necessarily not literally a girl, but it came about because of Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. And all this means is a person who, at the end of the movie or narrative, the last person standing, or the person who managed to defeat the big bad monster, so to speak. Okay, and today we're doing a countdown of our top 10 final girls in cinema. We're not doing television, so if you were thinking, oh my gosh, it'd be cool to have, I don't know, Dean Winchester, if you think if he's too pretty as like a girl, no, it's just only cinema. Only cinema.
See, I took this literally, and I literally chose all women for my all
I did
final
too.
girls.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
took it
all-
very literally.
Me too.
Yes, I
Me
know.
too.
I thought that was implied with the second word being during.
Right.
And our guest.
I thought about putting man on mine, but I was like, no, we're sticking to final women,
Right.
ladies.
Of course, we have our guest here, Danny, who is a master. For those who don't know, Danny is a master of all things horror. She's literally worked on countless horror movies over the years with a lot of big names. I literally met her on a horror movie. My gosh, over 5 years ago, Danny. Jesus Christ.
I think it's been longer than 5 years, but
going on 6 years now.
It's been longer than 5 years because it was like a year or
It's been
two
longer
when we
than
met
5
her.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a long
it's been longer than 5 years. So
we're always happy to
nice
have
to
her
know
on.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Y'all know more about Danny, but I think she was our first interview, right?
Yes, she was our very first one. Yeah.
Oh my
Later.
gosh!
I think you maybe like the first video we put up on this official channel.
I'm honored. I'm really honored by that.
I think that's what it was.
So who's your
Any
number 10,
universe?
Danny?
Yeah.
This is my number 10. So I went in with one of the modern girlies. Charlie's gonna love this. Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter from the Scream franchise. She's my number 10.
I'm surprised she's that low. Okay.
Yeah, she's higher on this.
I got some other ones up there, okay? I got some contenders. So she's lucky she made the list even, okay?
The only person I was scared of
Respectfully,
was
respectfully,
your
respectfully.
list. I figured those two would have like some stuff that I would think of, but I'm like, okay, if I go outside of the box, I feel like Danny may have some that I have. I thought Jenna would be a little too much of a low hanging fruit, so I kept her out of my list because you know how I feel about Jenna.
Interesting.
Danny knows how I
You
feel
know
about
what? I put her in there for you.
I appreciate that.
So we
I
can share
appreciate
that number 10. You can be in on mine. You can just like raise your hand and say me too. Yeah, I love Jenna Ortega in the horror industry at this point. She's killing it. She's obviously just like able to play so many different roles. I don't feel like she's been typecast, but she definitely is a horror girly. And I loved seeing her be a part of the Scream franchise. And I like final girls that are fighters. Like some of them just kind of get lucky sometimes. And other ones I feel bad for, which I'll get into later. But she fights back. And that's what I like about her in this franchise. So that's why she made the list.
Spoiler alert for her too. It was Scream, I guess 5, right? Where she pretty much should have gotten super clapped, yet survived, and then came back stronger, more like a Super Saiyan, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's definitely a fighter, and so much so also that when she like pretty much exited the franchise, they were like, we can't do a part 7 without her. We can do it without the main lead, but we can't do it without Jenna Ortega. So
Yeah.
She's really gonna milk it for like 4 more movies, so we gotta have the young star in here. We gotta be able to milk this.
Right. You got to make those movies.
she's a baddie. Yeah, I mean, like you said, she's definitely not. She hasn't been typecast necessarily, but a lot of her best work, like whether it be in You season 2 or 3, Charlie, she was in You.
2.
Yeah.
It was
Season 2 where she was. Yeah, going from, because I think she was originally like a Nickelodeon star or something, or a Disney Channel star.
She was in Disney, I believe, first.
Disney.
If I remember right. Yeah, it was a Disney show.
But it was a different brand that she was much younger. And then she, of course, kind of dovetailed into You. And then she, of course, went on to doing things like Wednesday, where she blew up in Wednesday.
That's still my favorite thing from her, honestly.
Yes. And she has.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to fuck the 15-year-old.
I didn't say any of those words out of my mouth.
Oh.
It was a literal. Hold on, y'all. Wait, chill out, relax. It's a quote. It's a quote from the show. It's a literal quote. Chill out, relax.
As the siren
Relax.
call. Oh my God.
Relax. Relax. It's literally what she says verbatim in the show.
What sounded like a wolf?
This scene was because it was the scene where her and Joe on the street. And she's like, "What's up, Joe? Do you want to fuck me?"
Okay.
He's like, "No, I don't."
Okay.
Fair.
Jesus, I should have prefaced that, but yeah.
More the warning.
Thank you for clearing that up, though. I really appreciate that.
I'm like, I must not have watched the show like I watched the show. My bad. Never mind. My bad.
Even she was in that Sabrina Carpenter music video where it's kind of like a horror themed. Where she was.
I freaking love that video. It is so silly and good.
Yeah, it's very silly.
I didn't even like the song until I watched the video, and now I like the song.
It's just watch the video. Forget the song. Just watch the video. But
Truly.
You want to go up to your number 10 next?
Yeah, for the plot, I'm gonna go with Terry Flores from Anaconda, Jennifer Lopez.
for the plot.
That's the plot. Plot's crazy thick, man. Crazy thick plot.
For the plot,
Out of Anaconda. I've read this one like 100 times. 3 years. Okay. Crazy thick plot.
Cut it with a knife, man.
Spike with the spatula.
and he sure. So I don't think you want to cut it with a knife.
Nah, it's not that. That came out. What year was that? Because that was a minute ago, right?
It was like, what, 02,
That's-
01? It was like,
That's like 90. Hold on, when did?
90s? I'm gonna look it up right quick.
or maybe you think about the sequel with Ice Cube. That was in the 2000s.
Word? Let me see here.
We got producers too, though.
But she still look. She looks. I mean,
97.
97.
97.
97. God dang.
97.
She was nice
Hey,
then.
man, say man. Hey, man, say man. Plot, man. Plot conquers all.
Plot. Yeah. I forgot about Anaconda, man. That was the one where Owen Wilson was like swallowed by the snake. And as he passed by, he saw his like face,
Yeah.
and he was like saying, "Wow." But I remember that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What you got for us, E? We thought you
My number 10. I'm not sure. It's a little bit lesser known, but it's Michelle from 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm a big Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan. And then again, it's kind of what Danny was talking about as far as having the final girls that are fighters themselves. From the jump, you can tell that she is very much suspicious of John Goodman. We all love John Goodman, but in that movie, he is sus, and she's very much trying to figure out how can I survive this creeper and escape him at the same time. And it's escalating in weird ways, and she's always like, at least she tries to stay is at least one step ahead of him, even though maybe 2 steps ahead of her. It's a very fun cat and mouse type of game, and she's a very good performer, entertainer all around. So yeah.
For me, I could not remember this actress name for the life of me, but I remember her name in the film was Alexandra Anderson from Wishmaster.
Oh
shit!
I told you I was going deep. I enjoyed her just for the factor of like the entire movie. The Wishmaster's like doing the monkey's paw thing, tricking people, and they're like, "Yeah, make this wish so I can do this to you." And she was like, "Yeah, I got to figure it out. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna create a wish that goes back in time and stops you from even being here right now."
and that worked.
So I thought that, yeah,
Real.
essentially like he got free because there was a worker that was drunk doing his job, and like he dropped something and let him loose. So she was like, "I wish that this guy wasn't drunk that day, so he did his actual job." And the wish went back in time and stopped dude from
That's
coming out of his thing.
Okay.
Sure.
See, that's a final girl that is just like very strategic and is not one of the lucky ones. She was like intentional and was very smart about her decision. I love a final girl like that.
Yeah.
I think that's all the women on my list, pretty much. I think.
I love that. Mine's not all like that.
Yeah, it's not definitely all like that. I mean, there's some that do get very much lucky. Most of the ones that were lucky are kind of old, bygone era. That sounded like, oops, I'm alive. Yeah, but usually they're
Oops, I'm alive. So sad.
That's sad.
Danny, you're number 9.
But no,
I was last. Last.
Sticking with the Scream franchise, I have Sydney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. I know, but there's other people at the top.
Fair enough.
I'm interested in her top now.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a punt because Sydney Prescott's higher up on my list. Because if we talk about her now, if you want to talk about, so we always do a. So if we have a higher, that person's choice higher up on our own list, we do a punt so we save it for later on. Do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I'll do a punt for that one.
Okay.
All right, bet. Because you're on yours. So, it's on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sam from A Quiet Place. Day one, Lupita Nyong'o's character.
Love that.
Miss Lupita.
I loved that movie so much. That is such a great number 9.
Yeah, I thought she was great. The ending, I saw it coming, but I didn't love it because of the journey we took to get to where she was by the end. But no, overall, I think it's a different spin because you rarely see somebody that's already debilitated before they get into a horror scenario. And to get that, I think she did a great job. Shout out to Lupita.
Because also the thing is, her disability was essentially an asset. Even before the end, is the idea they were able to, because they knew how to use sign language with each other. She was used to having to navigate a world without sound essentially already. And then, of course, with the hearing aid, spoiler alert, how they turned that on the monster at the end of episode 1. Also, wasn't this her first real acting gig, I believe, right? After
Lupita? No, I think she was in all other stuff before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Sam from Quiet Place 1. You said Quiet Place 1. I'm sorry. I was thinking the deaf girl from Quiet Place 1. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, she was the cancer patient in The Quiet Place Day One.
Day 1, I'm sorry. I said
prequel
Quiet Place
series.
1. You said Quiet Place Day 1. Fair enough. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, what was I was doing that this time? Yeah, side teams. You know they're doing a game, right? A Quiet Place game.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Where they're
That's
taking
so
your mic
fun.
audio, like you have to be quiet in game, like in real life.
Shut up. That is so fun.
So your dogs will get you
I love
killed. Your dogs, your cats. Yeah.
No, I would be dead immediately. My dog just moved.
Oh, God.
That's amazing.
It is on Ethan next. You're number 9.
My bad. Oh, but yeah, I need to watch. I haven't seen that one yet. So Quiet Place Day 1 is good. It's a good piece.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I ain't seen it yet.
I really enjoyed it. I love that whole franchise.
I did too, actually. Yeah. Okay. So my number 9 is Geraldine from a Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. That's Jada Pinkett.
I knew Demon Knight was going to be on your top. I knew it.
Of course.
I love that so much.
It's I would say basically guilty pleasure. It's not. I can't say it's good. But it's one of those things too with her character where she's very much not a person that was a traditional meant to be, demon slayer or demon fighter type of thing. But she does have survival skills in life in general, and she does survive. At the end of it, she is the last man standing, or last woman standing. And I like the idea too that she was basically throughout the movie kind of in a Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of sense, being trained on how to deal with these things. And like the very end of the movie shows her like using the training she had to pretty much get on a bus. It's like, yeah, I know how to. This is my role now. I will do it. I will embrace it. I'll take them on. So I love it. I love that for her.
That's one I haven't seen. I haven't seen that movie.
That's what was that? 95, 94 or something like that.
Tales from the Crypt. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was that the second or third one?
I guess the first movie. Tales from the Crypt.
Is it the first one?
I have not seen it. Ethan told me to watch it, but a long time ago. We should watch that.
Yeah, we gotta do something. That's 95. My bad, 95. I was still in college, high school. I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah, we'll just watch some content together. I just gotta figure out how that's gonna work. I gotta get with editor, producer, see those, and figure that out.
Yeah.
For me, my numero nueve, this is a tough one because I'm kind of ranking them right now on the fly because I didn't do an initial ranking. I just got 10 off the top, and I'm like, okay, how would I put this person at? I put Miss Anita / Needy from Jennifer's Body on here.
Oh,
She'd be my number 9.
that's
Also for the play.
Oh, for different reasons. For different reasons. for different reasons. The plot is incredibly thick here. Young Charlie was oh man, my adolescent me was loving this movie, man. Oh yeah.
Those trailers sold so many people.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, give me strength. But yeah, literally fought back against a demon and won. So yeah, I'm not aware.
Yeah. That was a surprising. I mean, it is still. I know it now. It's kind of a weird, like, cult hit. Jennifer's Body, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoyed it back in the day. I mean, I wasn't a young guy. But
was it a cult hit, or it is like I don't know. That's one of those movies where I don't hear people talk too bad about because you kind of know what it is.
Well, I guess that's the thing. It wasn't like it didn't like smash box office records when people knew. I guess they kind of knew what they were getting, but it was kind of pan in some ways. Megan Fox's acting and whatnot, but I thought,
It's the acting for sure.
yeah, people came there for that.
For sure. Yeah, I'm back on you, Danny.
Wait, what?
Back on
She's back on you. You're number 8.
Oh, okay. Number 8. Nancy Thompson, played by Heather Landenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, you are okay. I'm because you are getting these are like
Nancy's that
You
low.
know,
I
I'm
should
getting
talk about
some
that.
of
Yeah.
like-
It's like,
Yeah.
like again.
No,
like-
I have some modern girlies earlier because
Okay.
I kind of feel like everyone was gonna put all of the classics first, and there are some really great final girls that are more modern, so
that's
I
true.
mixed it up a little bit.
We may have some of the same people. I'm not gonna lie. If he's keeping them that high, I'm kind of doing the same thing. We may have some of the same people. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But go ahead and spit on her. 'Cause I actually haven't. I didn't put her on my list. So as y'all know, I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to Freddy for some reason. So go ahead and put her on. But let us
I've
know what you
had
like.
2 Freddy dreams, and I always wake up before he kills me. So I'm in the clear. It's fine. But I don't know. Nancy's got some grit to her, but she's also like an idiot. That's like why there's something about her that annoys me. So that's kind of also why she got a little bit lower on the list. I know it's kind of rude, but you know, she fights her fight, but she's also a dumbass.
Because she was around to when was it Dream Warriors when she died, or she left?
No, much further. Like,
But yeah, remember.
there was like a
I was
whole
gonna say
meta one. Yeah.
she does eventually die, but like she makes it pretty far.
Yeah.
And with Freddy, I kind of respect that.
Right. That's if that was ever anywhere near a real thing, boy, that's like the worst possible horror movie.
You
villain
can't
to ever
sleep.
exist.
You can't sleep.
You can't run far enough. You can't barricade
I love
yourself
sleeping.
nowhere.
You're
No,
just gonna hope
no,
you're not
that's how it
scared.
was.
Yeah.
That's how it was in my dreams, though. It's like I was trying to run, and he was like a shadow, and then it turned into him, and then the other, the other
too dark for
one.
that. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop right now. My room is pitch black. I will never.
Bro, even in like Dream Warriors, where like the people conquered their fears, they got superpowers in their own dreams to fight back. He was like, "Yeah, no, I'm still gonna kill you."
He was still
He's like,
tearing
yeah,
them up. Freddy tears people up. He was tearing Jason up. Like, if you're in Jason's little dreams, like, that's crazy.
That's the thing. If you that's what the whole idea is. In a dream, he's basically God. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like how do you? And that's the only place you will typically fight him. I mean, I know Nancy was the one who actually figured out how to like bring him out of a dream and fight him in real world,
Yes,
essentially.
that's another cool thing about Nancy is like she was strong enough or had enough willpower to actually bring this fool out into the real world, which is one of the reasons she's on my list.
Yeah,
The
no,
only person
she's a G.
the only person strong enough to beat him in the dream world was his daughter, right?
Because I thought Nancy was his
sixth movie?
daughter.
No, no, Nancy was just the girl that he favored at the orphanage. Later on in the movies, there's like he has a biological daughter that was like taken from him that has like telekinetic or like demon power. She has some kind of powers that like she used to fight him and kill him finally.
Word. Okay.
I don't know if it was like the 6th one or like the 7th one. I lost
I
track.
can't remember.
Because
I gotta go back and
there's a
watch all
phrase
those.
did where it's like is really meta with Nancy, the actor that came.
That was the new Nightmare that they did.
New Nightmare.
Where it was actually real. Yeah.
Right. In the,
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that now.
yes. Okay.
I think did Wes Craven do that one? I think.
Wes Craven did that one.
He shows
Yep.
up in it too.
Is that the one with Rorschach? Is Freddy?
No,
No, that's 2011. That's just the remake. This one is like a meta one where like the movies are real and all the actors
Yes.
are real people, but he comes
Yes.
into real life to kill people.
Yes,
Sir.
yes.
I think I'll give
That
it
one
to
was
you.
fun.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
support actually.
I watched too many horror movies.
But I mean, he's a very cool dude. The thing is also one of my favorite aspects of Nancy is how everyone knows this with Stranger Things. They named the one of the main characters Nancy directly off of Nancy from. It actually looks like her too, the hair and everything. That's how influential the character was. So
So you're on Otis now?
It's on me for number 8. For here, I put. I went back to repeat you again. Actually, is Adelaide Wilson and Us.
I'm mad at that.
So
I'm mad at that.
here's the thing. Isn't she actually I mean, spoilers for it. Right. So are we allowed to say?
Yeah, we can. Because he's about that whole like the ending where like Adelaide isn't really Adelaide; it's the clone that switched places with her.
So you're saying, yeah, so I'm saying it seemed almost like the way the monster is. That's fine. That's fine then.
I mean,
she doesn't count. I got both.
It's a literal, I mean, she's a literal clone, so it's like it's the same person. So I mean, if it doesn't count,
okay, that's fine. That's fine. No, because you know what, it does count, especially because it was we watched the whole club, the whole movie. That's the whole point. She's always been a clone. It never wasn't a clone. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Right. My bad.
The girl did the thing.
I killed my throat.
Yeah, no, I know.
Thanks for both rewards.
We're pizza.
The double stratone.
Oh my god. Oh, the double throat is crazy.
That's another whole movie.
That's a move at a Diddy party.
Oh no! Too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. My number 8. I have Diane. That's the mom in Poltergeist. I'm saying most of y'all probably seen Poltergeist, right? Poltergeist.
Okay. I love that.
She's a warrior and then some, and she's fighting for like her kids' fate against a house that is trying to do everything it can to stop her. And she wins. I mean, she is. And she also got the original Rogue hair streak. Her hair there for that the streak of white in her hair from going through stress and trauma. So
I give her credit because, like, if I saw my kid in a TV, I'm not going after that kid anymore.
FTK, man. FTK.
No.
Feel like I can have another one. It's
right.
Fine.
No, it, man.
Hey, I love her. Especially they're not a teenager. If they're like kids to them, like, bro, it's fine. What's the thing from Invincible? What's another 18 years?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's another 18 years? Jesus. But it was dope, man. Yeah. It isn't that remind me, it's off topic a little bit, but isn't Poltergeist another one of those movies, those horror movies that has no actual casualties, no actual deaths in it?
I mean, I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, other than all the deaths that the whole movie's built on.
Literally built on. Right. The grave, massive Indian grave.
Yeah, other than the Indian grave that it's built on, I don't think any other people die.
In the movie. Yeah.
I can't remember though.
My bad. Probably not.
Yeah, mine is another interesting one. This Abra Stone from Dr. Sleep, the Juan McGregor sequel to.
Right.
You haven't seen it, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the little black girl where she has like super strong astral projection / telepathic powers.
Yeah.
Which she's technically the final girl because Juan McGregor kind of sacrifices his own life within the mansion to let her get out. So she's technically the only one that escapes the whole thing. But I really like that movie. That was really dope.
It's a good movie. It's for I mean no offense to her, especially since I saw her in somebody after that where she was much better. For some reason in that movie though, Dr. Sleep, her acting seems very stilted. She's not.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
She's she's not. I'm just calling Dave Filoni, Mike Flanagan's wife, but the lady that Mike Flanagan.
Right. Yes. In House of Usher.
The House of Usher,
yes.
Haunting Hill House.
Haunting Hill House. Her acting is much better than that. Much better than that. And for some reason in Dr. Sleep, I know she was younger. She was a kid. It was just kind of rough. But yeah.
She was in Gerald's Game. I don't know if y'all seen that. That's a fire movie that she was lead in, where it's just like her.
That's a great movie.
With Carl Goodman.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, where she's literally just like handcuffed to the bed the whole movie and it's kind of like descending into madness as she's dying.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a
great
movie.
movie.
For the plot.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back on you, Danny. Who's your number 7?
So this one goes to Sally Hardsey, played by Marilyn Burns from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Damn it. I had her at 7 too. I had her at 7.
That is was it.
We can share that one. I'll give that to you.
Okay.
It's horrible.
I was wondering what the first one we would have like matched on was gonna be.
I feel terrible. She just sees some shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
All she sees, literally.
And like the last shot of her driving away in the car, just like laughing maniacally, is just like so like mentally messed up.
Yeah.
And just like covered from head to toe in blood. And like Texas Chainsaw Massacre specifically, that shit terrifies me. I am so afraid of like back roads and like hillbillies and stuff like that.
Me too.
Fun fact.
Like, the fear is so real.
Yeah,
The
fun
fear
fact,
is so real.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the true story actually did not happen in Texas. It happened in Southern Illinois.
What?
Where?
Southern Illinois.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Like
Near
Folsom,
you?
around that area.
No, closer to DeKalb. Well, no, not DeKalb. I'm sorry, Edwardsville. I'm thinking I went opposite direction.
Have you been near there before or been around?
One of my friends went to Southern Illinois University, and that's how I found out about the story.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
I do wonder why they said it in Texas. I guess maybe the idea is maybe that the budget could afford Texas.
Because Texas Chainsaw Massacre sounds really cool.
It does.
It sounds
Illinois Chainsaw Massacre.
Southern Illinois.
That sounds What's that? There's some Texas on there. Like, you better sign me up.
Jesus Christ.
Going to school
But
in
even that
South.
set,
Go ahead.
even just that set, I just feel like she also deserves to be on the list because that set was horrendous, and like the rotting pigs and
Real,
all like the
actual-
maggots were all just like real and stuff. So
So real.
it's another reason that she gets to be on the list.
Because they couldn't. It was very much a micro budget movie, right? So they
Yes.
all the blood and stuff was actually pretty much real blood. All the animal corpses were pretty much real, and it stunk to high hell. Actors have talked about it over the years, so they are soldiers. They are true soldiers. They deserve all the accolades for surviving that shit. The part at the end, like you said, Danny, where she's kind of like laughing and I feel like that's probably the actor too. Like I am so out of my mind.
I was reading earlier that she did actually spend time in like a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
So
I don't doubt it.
that just kind of adds a little bit of sadness to that shot. So
I want to bring this moment up to kind of, I guess, call back to the music stuff we talked about. In the opening credits of that movie, that like there's like a light bulb sound that it's like a flash they do, but like I think that's them actually rubbing a light bulb. I think or it did something with a light bulb to make this like really like screeching noise that you would hear throughout the movie.
Yeah, well, no, to say it again, unnerving, practice sense. Yeah. Oh, good choice. Excellent choice. This is next, right?
Yeah, Big Black Muffin, what you got for me? BBM. My bad.
His face was already turned up, and then you said that this was BBM, that made it even worse.
BBM, man.
Anywho, I'm gonna go with Rocky from Don't Breathe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great,
Okay.
great choice.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a great
I ain't mad at that.
I like that too.
I was scared for a second.
She's not a traditional hero at all, but yeah, she does.
I mean, it's about she's doing a B&E.
going to be an
The person that comes out of that house is not the same person that went in. So I give
Oh God, Jesus.
because I wouldn't have went back in there. I wouldn't have went back in there.
Yeah, I mean that's a. I see. I know why she did. I mean, it's clear for those who haven't seen that movie. That end is it's loud a lot.
Yeah.
That's Fede Alvarez, right? They did that.
I believe so.
Pretty sure because it's the same guy who did the What Evil Dead remakes. Well, one of them, and then he also did Alien Romulus. That's the thing. So. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they were done by the same person, but that makes sense. They're both great films.
Yeah, both. He has tension really well. That's the thing. Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Good choice.
What you got for me?
So my number 7 is Veronica or Gina Davis's character in The Fly.
Hey,
Okay.
I see you.
Get some body horror in here. Some Cronenberg. So I think Veronica is because I watched that movie when I was probably too young. Watched when I was like 16 or 15. No, because I wasn't able to drive yet. But I watched it and I was like, my God, 'cause I thought it was really cool, the idea of I thought he could transform into a superhero. So I watched it under the wrong pretense. And when Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park did not get handsome, I was like, what's going on here? And I loved seeing how Veronica, how very much take charge Gina Davis was, how she very much was like in a horrible situation, she managed to be, kind of rise above still somehow, miraculously. If you have not seen The Fly, the Fly from 1986 or whatever it is, I definitely encourage you to watch that. That is kind of hallmark textbook practical effects. I'm sure Danny's written papers on it all of her time.
I know. I'm just thinking about her makeup right now. A little bit of transformation action. I love I miss like on camera transformations. I love anything in camera. In camera is best, always best.
It's most unsettling. You can kind of separate things with your mind if it's CGI to some extent, but when it's full blown in your face, like practical effects, it feels that much more tacit and real.
Yeah, and it literally reminds me of you talking about American Werewolf from London. That transformation, like those types of transformations, are very special and take a lot of imagination and innovation to make happen. So I agree with that. That's a great number 7.
I wanted it so bad. If I don't do anything before I'm in the grave, I need to be in a horror movie set where I get transformed into something nasty. I will sit in that chair for 8 hours just for that.
What would you want to be transformed into if you could pick something?
I don't know. I feel like I want my like I feel like I would want to be like cut in half or something, like where like my shoulder is like halfway like to like my hip or something. I don't know. I don't know what I want. I gotta find somebody to make movies so I can be like, hey bro, I don't even have to have a speaking line. Just kill me.
Just kill me. No, I got to die in I think at least one horror film. Yeah, I died in one horror film. It's fun to die in horror films. It's great.
What was your?
I'd love to die in more.
How was your death scene? Would you look?
It was a very low budget way for me to die. I'm alive, and then you pan back and I'm skeleton. Yeah, so like the death wasn't very crazy or anything. I have gotten to kill my friends on set, which was like a lot more bloody and a lot more fun. It was the first film I was ever on. It was called Meat Massacre. I think it was Meat Massacre 2 or 3. I can't remember.
You said you died in the evil bong, didn't you?
Say that again.
Oh, you said you died in the evil bong. Was it Ginger Dead Man or the evil bong you died in too?
No, it definitely wasn't Ginger Dead Man. I didn't die. I was in one of the party scenes for the Ouija's. I was like one of the party guests. I get to be the Ginger Dead Man, like at a Halloween party. And then I'm trying to think if I feel like I am missing one of the things that I died in. I can't remember.
You talked about something I thought where you like got like hit in the head or something, and you had like blood come out of your head. You go on the floor. I could be tripping. Maybe I'm forgetting that. The videos.
I was gonna say I definitely never died like that. I would definitely do it again. I would be interested in dying like that on camera.
Or you know what? It was your friend. You did it to your friend, is what it was. You talked about it.
Yeah.
So because she had my 7, do I just skip my 7 to go to 6, or do I just like do a buy round?
Yeah, you got
Greek. This is 7.
All right. So my 6 then. I'm probably going to go with Margot from The Menu, Anya Taylor-Joy in that movie.
Okay, so we're counting that's a horror movie. Okay.
Cedar was trying to stop
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Oh no! Oh, damn.
Kids out the bag. We saw the 6 early, but we didn't know they had the 7, same number 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy did great in that movie. Another instance where like she literally fought back and like got into the mind of I can't remember that actor's name.
Rafe. I'm sorry, Rafe Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. Yeah. It was a great movie, amazing movie. I watched that with Keoria like during one of our movie nights, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun watching that movie. John Leguizamo was in there too. It was hilarious.
He is up in there. Yeah. No, it's a great movie. It's again that's getting to the thriller suspense aspect of things. It has our girl from the Watchmen TV show. That was Ozymandias' daughter. Spoiler alert. But yeah, it has her up in there too. Yeah, it's actually. I mean, I think it's Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy is one of those actors that's kind of like, anytime she shows up, she brings it. She never like half-asses anything. She's always has her unique branding, unique style. It's like Aubrey Plaza. It's always her.
Mm-hmm.
Her unique.
She has a unique look in general. Like those eyes, like are.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Unique presence. I love her.
She's an icon.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a great movie. The Menu is a great movie. It is very much a horrible, like, how do you survive a harrowing situation? So,
discuss it this number, then I'll discuss it as a whole. Yeah. I got you. Lasito. So, Danny, it's on you for your number. Well, yeah, your number 6, I guess, because we did 7. You did your 7 already.
My number 6 is Emerald Haywood, played by Kiki Palmer from Nope.
Oh,
Love it.
man.
I
love it.
I love Kiki Palmer. I loved Nope. And Kiki Palmer, like the whole premise of the movie is for them to get a picture of this thing and they end up killing it, which is awesome. But she's the one that secures that shot. Not that dude that came in and did all the filming. It's my girl Kiki Palmer at the end that gets the shot of this insane thing. And I just love her. She's so funny through the whole film, and Kiki is my favorite. So she is my number 6.
I love it. Another one of my goals in life is to meet her and do the dap up that she did with Daniel
Oh my
Kaluuya in that
God.
movie.
That was amazing.
Yeah, boy.
That gap.
Oh my god, that
I don't know how many people to show us why it takes.
that would heal. That would
And the
cure
sword.
everything in my life if I could do that with Kiki Palmer.
Literally.
Truly.
But
That
that
hell
was
out of that hand, boy.
she did it with that. She took the picture right after she did the whole Akira slide, which is even greater too. So I love that. Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
all
she
kinds of
did.
props, all kinds of props. There's
Some
also a
Jordan
scene in
Peele
that movie
shit.
too where she's like she has like a little dance number. But it was really cool. Yeah, she's dope in that movie. I love her.
I love her in that film. And like she's one of the people in like one of the final women that works to be the final woman. It wasn't by luck, it wasn't by it was by like she helped her brother and they got what they needed and killed it.
Yeah, and she did that under extreme duress because as far as she knew, she just watched her brother die. And she was like, and you saw her mourning, pretty much trying to mourn while she was on a speeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, she almost prevented the entire movie from happening because she wanted to sell the farm and like dip out. But he was like, we're not selling the farm. Oh,
That's
my God.
true. That's true.
Nope still lives rent free in my brain for several reasons. Great movie. Great movie.
I love that film.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Yeah, for my number 6, I'm gonna go Kristen McKay from The Strangers. She was the wife.
Of the time.
Yo.
Yeah.
I thought of that. I thought of her. I'm so glad you put her on your list because I was gonna put her on mine, and I'm glad you put her on yours.
I knew it was going to pick somebody from The Strangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a great movie. I love The
It's true.
Strangers. I mean, you still have one of the best taglines for a movie ever. Because you're on it. Like, just,
Yeah, it's so like it's so like Johan from Monster, whatever. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That's why I get like really weird about any Airbnb like in the mountains or like anywhere in like the wilderness that's off from the main road. It's like, yeah, we having a good time, ha ha ha, ha. And then yeah, we're just all fodder like throughout the whole night. I'm like,
Yeah. Good choice. Great choice, Ashley. Good choice. And my number 6, right?
Yeah.
My number
Yes.
6 is Rain. It'll probably be a punt. I'm guessing we can still punt. It's Rain from Alien Romulus. That's the main character. Alien Romulus.
She's not
Love it.
So let's go ahead and punt it.
Love it.
Was she in anybody else's list?
I know she's on Daniel's.
yeah, I still got to see that, so I can't put it on the list yet.
Oh, I thought she was on Daniel's. My bad. Yeah,
No,
we
she's
saw.
not on my list.
Otis hasn't seen it yet, but keeping it short and sweet, it is a character who earns her stripes and also earns her ending. We see in little small ways throughout the whole movie that she is cleverer than smarter than the average bear, and she's trying to do everything she possibly can. But also it's realistic. We see that she is under pressure. She is afraid of things. She is like trying to do things the best she can, but she's a smaller person, so she sometimes fails with little things like try to come up ladder or whatnot. But it's very also I like the idea that she has a direct inspiration or motivation for surviving, that she cares about her family. That's what kind of spurs her on, as opposed to just, I'm a badass, therefore I will survive. It's like, no, I actually want to survive for a very deliberate reason. So, yeah.
I made her Ripley with some bop in it.
Amazing character.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying about it because it's rough with her because like I thought she was cool, but for me she wasn't like the best part of the movie. Like for me she was
That's
like
the best part.
Yeah, it's like when I think about what makes that movie good, she's not bad by any means, but it's like so many other things about that movie. That I like, especially when it comes to acting. Like John Williams? I think is his name, or John was it?
John Williams is the
something.
music composer.
I'm talking about the main actor, the guy. I thought it was John something. Did
John
you
Hurt?
check that for me, editor Cito?
You mean John Hurt?
No, it's the actor. So he's like the main black actor in Alien Romulus. He's like the
Oh,
main
right.
black
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. John.
His name was John something. I thought.
He's in
That's the-
industry, the show industry also. Yeah.
But yeah,
He's definitely I agree. He is the best character, best actor in the movie. Yes, but I love Rain.
I agree with that.
yeah. But we are on to is it on me now? Did you just win?
Yeah, it's you for number 5.
From 5. Okay. So my numeral site, not numeral face. Johnson. Oh, his last name is Johnson. Never mind. Maybe I got that confused with his first name. My number 5, I'm probably going to go ahead and put Mia Goth's character from X. I just put her actor name because I couldn't remember because she played two of the characters. So I couldn't remember what the young lady version of her was in that movie.
Not Pearl. Was the young? I mean the young person?
Yeah. No. So in X, the first one, there is the girl she's like the porn star essentially in that.
Right.
The porn star.
Right.
Like the dude's girlfriend that was supposed to be a star, be famous, because she plays her and she plays Pearl, the older lady as well.
Pearl.
I don't remember what.
But you mean the young one, the young version, right?
The young one, yeah. I couldn't remember what her name was in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did great in that. I thought, especially another instance where she fought back and really like stomped out. Well, I can't remember if she stomped out or just ran her over with the car at the end of the movie.
Both. She's crazy. Yeah. If you haven't seen X,
Still haven't seen the trilogy.
I haven't seen these. I haven't seen these.
You haven't seen that yet? Oh,
I
it was
haven't
lovely.
seen them.
Jenna
I
Ortega's
haven't
in it.
seen them.
Yeah,
Really? I didn't know she was in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't make it.
Okay. I like that though. She can't make it in everyone. She can't be the final girl and everything.
They do a fake out where she's introduced as like the newer character, so you assume she's the final girl, and she just like goes very abrupt, very abrupt.
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
It's fire. Kid Cudi's in it too.
You got the movie essentially. Her and Kid Cudi.
Yeah. Cudi goes
Love
pretty
Kid
quick
Cudi.
too. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
Danny?
My number 5 is Danny Ardor from Midsommar.
Midsommar. I like that.
I love that film. And this is also one of the characters I feel bad for. She's a final girl I feel bad for. She just like goes through some weird shit. And also like at the end, she's kind of brainwashed a little bit.
Kinda.
So I feel bad for her, but she's still one of my favorite final girls because I kind of identify with her in some ways and like in some weird ways. So, and her name's Danny.
And her name is Danny. So I have so many thoughts of Midsommar. That movie is all kinds of disturbing. It's very good. It's Ari Aster, but it's like, Jesus Christ. I feel more bad, more sorrow for her at the end because the whole thing is tragedy for her. It opens with her spoiler alert, finding out that there was a massive murder-suicide in her family, and her dickhead boyfriend has no idea how to treat that or handle it or deal with her. And she's very much a victim of extreme brainwashing from a cult. It is like, oh my God. But it is, yeah.
Her boyfriend was gonna break up with her before the trip happened. Like she was about to get broken up with on that trip.
Really?
Yeah, she got
the worst.
I'm like,
He's
bro,
the worst.
she cannot catch a break. Shout out Ari Aster because buddy is like that. Buddy Ari Aster does great stuff.
He's up there.
But I did really love that film, and I love Florence, so I was happy to see her as a final girl, even though she went absolutely crazy.
You want to talk about? You want to talk about some thick plot? Hey.
Yep.
Because
Florence Pugh is in there?
I literally love her.
thick plot, boy. Did y'all watch Oppenheimer?
Of course, several times.
I didn't see it.
Hey.
This guy.
Part of the reason why I want to see, was it Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's kind of. I mean, that was making the lead.
She's like the leader, pretty much.
She's basically
This talent. I was gonna. Speaking of Ari Aster, I was going to put. I can't remember her name. Toni Collette's character from Hereditary on there, but we can't. It's not.
She's not. It's very, very bad.
Spoiler alert.
Horrible.
Arguably, for me, the best death of the whole film.
Oh, it's a great.
Love
I mean,
that
it's
death. The best death.
it is the most disturbing. One of the most.
But yeah,
disturbing
not a
deaths
final
I've
girl.
seen. Because hers was the one where it was the whole like song your own.
She gets a lot of pressure taken off of her shoulders.
So good. So good.
I saw that in theaters in like high school with my homegirls. Yeah, because it came out like what 20, or it may have been. I may have been
don't
like
remember
about
when
first
that
year
came out.
college. It's like 2019, maybe.
No, it was over
It was like
5 or 6 years ago. No, it was you were probably in high school
18?
still. Yeah,
I was either in high school or like freshly out getting ready to go to college that summer. One of the two. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
but it's just it seems it's that the subject matter is very disturbing. I've heard before how it's
Very
obviously
disturbing.
yeah, it's very. It actually does. It's obviously influenced heavily by Rosemary's Baby. I get it, it's
2018.
fine, but still.
2018, yeah. So I either had just graduated or was getting ready to graduate high school.
Okay. I saw it after, like a year after it came out, honestly.
Did you still like it?
Yeah.
I love that film. I love that film. It is so wildly disturbing.
Yeah, it is.
I'm starting to learn too many
Oh god,
names
some
of
of those
the Lords of
scenes
Hell.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's the most uncomfortable scene is just isn't even a horror. It's just literally a mother rebuking her son.
Mourning.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's even my stomach hurt. Like if a scene makes my stomach hurt, that's when I know I'm like, you guys succeeded in making this so terrifying that my stomach hurts like this shit is happening to me.
Did Toni Collette get nominated for Oscar for that movie? I don't know if she got nominated.
Of course not. They don't. It's
You know they don't like horror.
They will never.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So that's fair. I kind of get why that wouldn't win an Oscar, but
No, I mean,
know.
she could be nominated though. If you can nominate, friggin' Anna de Armas for Blonde for that horrible. It's what? How you
Real.
nominate Toni Collette?
You know how they do us because they
I
don't
was
do
gonna
what they do with
say,
Jamie
you know that
Lee.
shit isn't real.
They go wait till Jamie Lee is like somewhat of a good supporting character and give her an Oscar. She didn't
Barely.
really.
They're gonna wait till she
That's
got
not even-
sausage fingers.
Because that's
Literally.
it's like sausage fingers. Like, are we really for that role?
Like in a movie where she's like the third best supporting character, we gonna give her the best supporting character just because we've been screwing her for her entire career.
You know it should have been Angela Bassett.
The other words.
Right.
That's even That's we can't do this. We can't. If our producer was here, he'd be like, "What are y'all doing? We can't.
I always feel some type of way about that because I feel bad for Angela and Jamie Lee where it's like
I know.
you needed one, but this wasn't the one.
They showed Angela Bassett's face also with you see. We gotta move up. What's number?
Number five. Number five. It's on
Number
down.
5. Danny.
So David, yeah.
Wait,
Which-
it's not
she's-
on me. My number 5 was Danny.
Oh, yeah, it's you. It's you, Otis. It's you.
It's Otis, right.
It's Otis.
That's not the one. So I mean, this is where I get typical on my list. Number 5, Jenna Ortega, Terry Carpenter is in Scream 5, 4, 5. Which Scream is she in?
5.
It's Scream 5.
Five.
Yeah, Scream 4 is kind of like they forgot the redheaded stepchild, basically. Yeah. I mean, she made the movie. Her and her sister made that movie for every reason.
So
Great.
I mean, it's the first time I saw Jenna Ortega in a movie role. Like, I mean, of course, I saw her in You. That doesn't count towards what we're talking towards now. But I mean, she killed it. Now,
Babu Bear.
if she's in a series, I'm probably gonna watch it now. Besides
Yeah, I'm gonna be
this,
so
new one that she just dropped with old dude from
Beetlejuice.
no, not that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm skipping that one too.
You'll watch it what's on TV.
you should.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
It's that fucking movie. I watched that movie
Daddy,
again yesterday. I watched that movie again yesterday, and it pissed me off immediately again. So
Why'd
that's
you
how I
watch
feel
it a second
about that.
time? Why'd you watch it again?
It was my friend's birthday, and she hadn't seen it yet. And she's like, "I want to watch Beetlejuice." I'm like, "Great, let's do it! Happy birthday!"
Let me get some drinks real quick. Yeah.
Oh
So,
man,
movie
it just
she
pissed me
had-
off twice.
Yes.
It's a movie she has with he plays Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, and he also plays the ancient in Black Panther. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh right. Yes, they're actually in
that
an
guy,
affair or something, right? Martin
Yeah,
Freeman.
like she,
They're in a relationship.
He's his teacher. She, I will. Yeah,
That came out a little bit ago,
she's his
didn't
student. Yeah,
That came out like last year.
Too.
yeah, it did. Like I have no urge to ever watch that.
It's getting slammed. It's not getting well received. But yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's a nasty like
Right.
plot line.
Here-
Again, they put her. They did it with you too, where they keep like making her do these like underage predator movie like
I hate
roles.
that shit.
Where I'm like,
Yucky.
she's
Yucky.
like
The thing is,
We don't like
now,
it.
I'm a teacher, and because I'm around young women that are like 17, 18, or even younger, it's like it just feels even it feels, ugh.
and it's weird with her.
Yeah.
It's even my body, I'm in a constant state of turmoil because like I know we're like the same age. I think she's like a year younger than me. And I'm attracted to her, but I'm like, no, they said she's 15, and because she's like 4 feet tall, it looks like she's 15.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, my mind's telling me no, but my
Oh no!
Oh, God.
Don't quote that person.
right.
Oh, Joe.
This podcast will get canceled twice in the same episode.
Oh God,
Oh, really?
I'm the problem. I'm sorry, I'm a problem.
That is all right, man.
At least I prefaced it this time.
You did. Thanks for the warning.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna move on to my number 5. Get us off the rails. My number 5 is Kim. It's kind of a doubleheader. It's Kim and Zoe Bell from Grindhouse Death Proof. That was the one where they're driving the car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know obviously Daddy's seen that movie.
No,
Have you seen
wow.
Fortuitous?
What's Buddy's name? He was in Guardian. He's in Guardians.
Yes, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yeah.
Kurt Russell's the guy that's driving the car. And at the end, I love how. I mean, technically, it's a few final girls in that vignette, but I love those two, especially the tag team they have. Kim was the driver, and then Zoe Bell was the stunt woman on top of the car, and how the two of them get revenge, and how they ended. It also ended with Rosario Dawson caving his skull in by doing a ninja kick on top of him. But it's just
Nice.
awesome. I love watching that.
It's another one of my wifeys that I love with a passion.
Yeah.
Beautiful. He's
Also,
talented.
underrated movie. Like that's not one talked about enough from Tarantino. Like Grindhouse / what was the second half?
Death Proof.
That is Planet Terror and then Death Proof.
Yeah, Planetarium. Sorry, yeah. Yeah. Definitely slept on. Got much credit to all for dogs.
Yeah.
Where we at? Is it on me now?
Quarto.
And number 4. Okay. I don't want to go with number 4. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick my girl Cecilia from The Invisible Man, the more recent one.
Oh,
Okay.
let's with Moss, right?
Yes, I like her, Aldous Hodge.
Yeah, that's hot.
I think
Hot,
name-
yeah, Doctor.
Yeah, but that was an amazing movie. I really enjoyed that film. Again, it was something even more. I love when I look at my final girls. I look at like the kind of mountain they have to overcome with like the monster or ghost that they're trying to overcome, and for the fact you're just a regular person and dealing with this super high tech invisible suit where this guy is like somehow doing super. So I guess the suit's like also like an exosuit because he's doing some superhuman stuff on top of that with some of the stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
Because Aldous Hodge is like 250 damn near, and he's like throwing him around like with ease. And then you see him like outside of the suit, and he seems like a very small man. So I don't know how that was happening.
It's the
Oh.
Gear Solid 4 suit.
Right.
Yeah, the MGS.
But yeah,
And
the
also,
fact that she like was strategic and killed him with the paint, and also like kind of it was dope. I really enjoyed it, and it was also the allegory for her like overcoming like abuse, the domestic assault, domestic abuse.
So yeah, I mean, she had a lot of things too. Because also, I believe what she was trying to say. They were like, "Oh, this is crazy. This is literally crazy or psychotic." So the idea,
Gaslighting
of course, people always gaslighting women as far as, "Oh my gosh, you're hysterical. You're seeing things. You're being." So the idea of having to get past the whole stigma of being insane when she knows she's sane, having to try to deal with that stuff too. Yeah, it's a lot of hills to climb, and I thought she did a great job with that. You're right. This kind of what they call it the old Blumhouse classic, because that's one of the ones that kind of get them going back in the day as far as getting more and more credibility.
It's supposed to be one of the starters in that whole universal monsterverse they're trying to do. Like that was like the only good movie out of the bunch they did with that and The Mummy and so the movie they got off the ground. I don't think they got any other ones off the ground. I think it was like
got canceled before that.
yeah. That was a bad downfall. It really took a whole picture with everybody in it too. That was a bad downfall. Oh my gosh.
And they're all like A-listers.
Okay. Anyway, okay. Yeah, it's on
Danny for number 4.
Danny, my number 4 is Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis from the Halloween franchise. She has to be on there. She has to be there. I feel bad for her, but also she's smart and strategic because, like, that's her brother, and that chick must be just hard. But she still, like, is able to stand up to him and, like, fight for her life. She doesn't play. So that's why she gets number 4 for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man,
that should be higher.
She's survived against a mutant for years because
So many years. So many years.
So we count in like the pre-retcon version, like that has like H2O and Resurrection in it, where she's surviving, or just like the new timeline they made with the 3 movies.
you can pick.
Kind of however you want it. I'm not attached to any way, you know?
Fair enough. Because I say that because like it's more impressive in the prior ones because he was literally like a demon baby with like the cult of
Yeah.
thorns, and
Yeah.
the new one they're like, yeah, he's just a really big guy.
I know, like that.
Either way, like to evade a really big psychotic guy that just wants to
Right.
kill you for Jamie Lee Curtis is still extremely impressive.
Right.
Even if you just do this, just the first movie alone, when he's just called The Shape, and he's,
Yeah.
I mean, she is very much a babysitter at 17 years old, roughly.
Yeah.
She managed to survive him. She stabs him in the neck with that coat hanger. I mean, this woman is like
The source.
determined. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all,
She
all the
was
credit in the world.
not going.
She's
No, she had a will to live, and I appreciate that about her.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he was already inhuman. He was they based up the Undertaker in wrestling based his entire persona off of him, sitting up, and that's how demonic he
That's so
actually is.
funny.
So
Yeah, you survived like 6 shots to the chest and fall out the second story balcony.
Truly. Yeah.
right.
Mm.
And then he's like in the new movies, he's like 60, almost 70, and he's still like moving like that, bro.
Tearing up. Yeah, he's tearing up.
Athlete. Like,
And they're saying that he's not
Athletic.
supernatural either, so he's just like one of his Tom Savini shit is being massive at 70 years old.
No,
It's just
literally.
big for no reason. Except,
That's so funny.
for sure. We got
so yeah, she's my number 3, so I won't go too heavy on
Fair.
right there. But my number 4 is one that you gave earlier. You know, that's Sydney. Sydney Prescott surviving her friend's betrayal, going on to survive like several line of basically assassins after her at this point. Cause
yeah, how many people have tried to kill her at this point? It is like 5 movies worth.
she
Yeah.
didn't do anything but survive, and people wanted to kill her for it.
oh my god, I hate her so much. I just want to kill her.
That's
Yeah, they
what
see
I
her
like
obsessed with killing her.
That's what I like about Sydney, because usually it's about the killer and it's more about Sydney and this world. So I do appreciate that about Sydney. I didn't say that earlier, but that's
You know what?
I do
yeah,
love that
there's a
about
point.
that plot.
I think you're right, because I can't think of any other franchise where the victim, quote unquote victim, or the target is more sensationalized and more famous in a way than the actual killers are.
Yeah.
And then City, you're right. She is unique in that regard. 100%.
It's so sad because it's like, all right, in the first one we're gonna kill you just because we killed your mom and that was the whole thing, or like somebody killed your mom, so we just hate you because you took fame away or you were the reason why our parents died.
Yeah.
Then the thing was the second one was his brother,
her
brother?
her half brother.
her half brother, yeah. But she's just like, again, just living, just doing a thing, and then from there, just like a string of people that want to get recognition from killing her. I'm like, damn, like, bro, she can't
It's
get
about
The way she is a
Sydney,
celebrity
just-
too.
Yeah.
Man, just go ahead and play the 50 Cent Mini Man.
literally. Where's death upon me, bro?
No, literally.
And I like also, I didn't talk about last time at all, the last one Danny brought up originally, but the biggest thing I like about Sydney is how she is the ultimate final girl, because she knows all the tropes and cliches of horror movies. So she's able to kind of use those to survive in a horror movie world, so to speak. So it's meta in the best way possible. And she's very
similar to Laurie in the instant that where she just knows all the tricks and all the tips and tricks of the trade for each Ghostface as well, like like how they approach the murder and all that good stuff.
Yeah, right off. So we're doing number 4, right then? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So then my number 4 is actually her name is Naru. I think I pronounced that correctly. Naru from the movie Prey, which was in the
The
Interesting.
Predators franchise, the prequel. I didn't
Predator.
think of her, but she would have been high on my list too, actually.
It's true.
Yeah.
Make her.
So she was definitely awesome. I do consider the Predator movies for the most part somewhat of, if you can, survival horror.
Oh, yeah, especially
Yeah,
very much
I
a
love that.
final
I would agree with that. Good horror films.
And the fact that she used her own essentially being underestimated to her advantage, I thoroughly respect her for that, to be able to take down a predator at that with technology that was far beyond the time that she was in. Like,
Yeah.
kudos.
And
We love a strategic and smart final girl. We love it.
Yeah, and she had to be like, she had to go that much more because she was so small compared to everybody else, especially the predator himself. The weapons she had were so much more primitive compared to what he was using. She had to use the environment around her to take him down. She had to use the primitive weapon she had, and she had to pretty much go against her extreme fear to do it. And she was very much afraid of him. But when she took down his dad, when she took down her brother, she's like, I have to find a way to put this end.
7-foot Rasta coming at you. Or
he lifted a bear, like help the bear.
Lifted the bear, tore it in half. There,
that was insane, bro. It was a brown bear too, so it was like a literally the most aggressive kind of bear possible.
Yeah, she's a baddie.
Oh god!
Shout out to that movie. Good job, movie.
Yeah. By the way, her real life name is Amber Midthunder. That's her name. That alone makes her a baddie.
If I remember right, there was
Name.
all actual native people to play those roles, right?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
I can't remember what tribes were in, but they're all native people.
Yeah. We were at number 3 for me. I think I started off 3, right?
Yeah, you start this one.
Boy, this is getting to the final one. I'm trying to figure out who I want to say. You know what? I'm gonna use Miss Tree Gilman from Happy Death Day. It's gonna be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's a.
I haven't seen those yet.
Yeah, she's awesome.
It's
You ever
pretty
seen that one
fun.
yet? The first one is great. The first one's actually very fun. Really, really fun.
Okay.
She's an asshole.
It's like a Groundhog's Day thing where like she keeps dying. Well, she's coming back every day. She's trying to find out who's killing her, but then she keeps dying and getting killed over and over again.
But it starts off she's very much an asshole when she like
It's dope. I enjoyed that movie. The second one was kind of cool.
So
I can't remember if she was in Freaky or not with Vince Vaughn, where she like switched bodies with him. Like it's either her or Samara Weaving. I can't remember which one.
I think it's.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, that was interesting to say at least.
It's okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's great.
Vince Vaughn movies.
Like amazing.
So we're on round 3.
I'm switching my number 3 and my number 2 because I can do that. My number 3 is gonna be Ellen, obviously played by Sigourney Weaver in Alien. If they would have just listened to this final girl from the beginning and not the protocols, they would have lived. It would have just been fine, and we could have just moved on. So that's why she gets number 3, because she was smart and she was just like, "Hey guys, these are the protocols. Don't be stupid." But everyone was proceeded to be stupid, as we saw through the entire movie, and she lives, and she's fighting up till the last second, and I love that. I absolutely love that. She had a will to live.
She deserves it. And she saved the cat. She saved that stupid cat.
Cat in Space is crazy.
Cat in Space, yeah.
But it makes sense.
Yeah. Ripley is great. And her also that originally the script it wasn't necessarily written for a woman. It was just written for, it just says Ripley, the character Ripley. And I'm not sure how Sigourney Weaver got cast for that, but it was.
She was the right person.
She was the perfect cast for it, I think.
Perfect casting. So yeah, but yeah, Ripley is very much. It's a hallmark of like if you watch that movie or show it to somebody who's never seen it before, has no idea what Alien is. If they just like, because you would never assume that she would survive. You would think, oh my gosh, Tom Skerritt will survive or whatever else. Yaphet Kotto may survive, but you wouldn't think that Ripley would. But yeah, she's very much what it deserves to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
We like you.
To that one because she's a little bit higher on my list for me.
Got it. Okay.
For my number 3, this is Laurie Strode. Going back to, we were just literally talking about her. We just talked about the awards too. Why can't I remember this one's name?
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you. I mean, really cemented kind of like the trope of the final girl with this.
For sure.
And again, being able to survive both a demon child, a super mutant, and now this hyper athletic giant town slaying monster with Michael Myers. Like, there is an entire mob that comes out of this man with pitchforks and blades and shots, and he's like, "Nah, no, no, dude. What do you mean? This is my warm up. I'm practicing for my sister."
Yeah. One of the best things that bored me was that one take where they had him going from house to house, just murdering people rapidly, like a shark. I was like, she survived that, bro. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Buddy was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. and she was literally just a little scrawny 17-year-old virgin teenager that somehow managed to survive. She got tougher over the course of the films, obviously, but she.
Yeah, for sure.
That's oof. I don't ever smoke from you.
No, for real.
You got it. You need me to open this door for you?
That's
Okay,
so
cool.
funny.
I need her house, like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith house, where you got guns in every compartment.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin Hart thing. Gun compartment. Gun compartment. Where are we at now? We opened it. It's an Omina.
That's Eve for number 3.
So it's number 3. Okay. Mine is Mima. Mima is in Perfect Blue. I'm not sure I know Otis watched Perfect Blue, the animated film. I'm not sure if Danny, if you've seen or heard of it, but
No, I haven't.
Singing Mountain.
okay. Yeah, I watched it with you at one time at least. So Perfect Blue, long story short, is about a pop star who is more or less being stalked and hunted by a super crazy fan. It is animated. It came out in the 90s, but it can basically it's the way they always describe it is if Studio Ghibli and Wes Craven made a movie together.
Oh, I love.
Basically,
That sounds amazing.
But it's amazing. It's fantastic. I also seen how Mima finds a way because again she's battling her. She believes she's going crazy, and she has every reason to believe so. But yet at the same time, she's dealing with psycho crazies that are stalking her for real life. And so her trying to decipher what's real, what's not, while she's filming a movie that deals with severe SA. I can't know what to say online. It's just her mind is getting fractured more and more, and she's the better she's able to survive all of that in the end and come out on top is
Who's her agent? Like, why did you put her in that? Like, how did you do that?
It's the same thing in our world. How if a person, let's say for example, like Jessica Biel, right? Jessica Biel was on Seventh Heaven. And the first thing she wanted to do after she left that show was be in like a crazy college movie where she's like having a whole bunch of sex. It's kind of the same idea where if you're trying to break mold, if you were a Disney star or a super sweet star, you would
Zendaya and Challengers
range.
Oh man,
Another movie I am actively avoiding to the end of time.
it's a really good movie, but it's just really traumatizing. It's really toxic. It's so toxic. Oh my god, that movie's toxic as hell.
Wait, which was this?
Challengers with Zendaya.
Oh yeah.
It's such a good movie, but I mean, bro, like the most toxic relationships and friendships possible. Oh my god.
Yeah, quote unquote friendships.
Yeah, going back to Perfect Blue.
No, for real.
I think that was my first time watching it actually when we did that movie night years back now.
Years, but that's the first movie.
Yeah. But also Meg Thee Stallion's video "Hurt" is based around.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that.
Interesting.
What's up? And if you've seen, have you all seen Perfect Swan? What's the not Perfect Swan? Black Swan. Have you seen Black Swan with Natalie Portman?
I have not. I remember how big that was when it came out. I think
you were
little
little when it came out. Yeah, but so if you've seen Black Swan, Danny, there's a scene where Natalie Portman's in the bathtub. Let's overhead shot of her in the bathtub, and she screams into the water. Darren Aronofsky admitted he took it directly from Perfect Blue. It's the same idea. Like,
That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to watch that. I'm excited to watch that, actually.
There was a scene with an ice pick that will haunt you.
Ooh.
Even the animated movie, it's still settled with me.
that sounds sad. That's screaming into the water thing is something we used to do. I used to do as a kid for fun in the bathtub or like at a pool.
Screaming underwater?
Yeah, you're screaming in the water.
Yeah.
Making bubbles.
Wait, what's it called again?
Perfect
Blue. I'll make sure I send you a trailer to remind you.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorites. It's also a little weird thing. Back in the day, how old I am, because I saw it when I was 16 when it first came out, and I had to go to the video store to buy the movie. I couldn't just watch it on streaming or whatnot. It was a VHS. I went to Suncoast Video to buy it, and it disturbed me so much that I returned it the very next day. And I said, I can't keep this movie. It's too disturbing. And the guy who ran the store was like, "What are you talking about? It's just an animated movie." I said, "You watch it. You tell me." So he watched it himself. I came back a few days later. He goes, "You're right, man. It was disturbing."
That's so funny. I miss video stores.
I know, right?
We still got a couple Blockbuster DVD boxes at my grandparents' house about my granddad and me.
I miss the smell of the cases.
Plastic, the laminated plastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nostalgia, baby.
Yeah. I was part of the problem. I stole a couple things out of Blockbuster. I still got a copy of Aragon and like that old Clone Wars.
You wanted that movie on purpose?
Yes.
Aragon.
I told you, like literally every time I would go in, we would rent 4 things. It would be the Doctor Strange animated movie, Aragon, in the first season of Static Shock, where like the things we would rent every single time, and we would get like a random game from there.
I give you two of those. I'll give you
That's
two
so
of those.
funny.
God, it's
I love that. The game was fire too. That movie, I love the movie. I love the game. Game was underrated.
The book is the only good thing from that franchise.
written by a 13-year-old.
Hey man.
But we digress.
My numero 12 is, see, I was thinking about this for a minute now, and I was so conflicted because recency bias is gonna hurt me here, but I can't let it hurt me here. Miss Sienna Shaw from Terrifier 2 and 3 is gonna be.
Okay.
Oh.
So I need to
Yeah.
to it. I need to flush.
Bro.
I do too. I've seen the first one, but not the other ones.
That was the first
So
one.
the second one is when she's introduced, where she essentially is like, I guess, an angel, essentially, like a heavenly deity meant to counteract the demon that created Art the Clown.
Really?
So yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember the lore exactly, but she's supposed to be like it's like a yin yang type thing where it's a demon that created Art.
Okay.
She's like the direct opposition to it. It's supposed to help kill it, but Art's like hunting her down because as long as she exists, the demon has that weakness there.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because like the first one didn't have like any kind of lore.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the first one he was
say that's like
split,
Yeah.
The first one had like no
Hair.
lore.
shred.
Yeah.
Bro, there is a chainsaw scene. This is probably the most gory, most aggressive, wildest chainsaw scene in any horror movie I've ever seen in the third movie.
Oh,
Bro he gets busy with this fucking chainsaw, bro. Oh my
okay.
God. Leatherface wishes he could do what this man did with the chainsaw.
Okay.
But yeah, she's dope though. She literally has like a godly, heavenly sword that she uses to fight him and whatever else.
Oh,
And
cool. I need to watch this.
she has some kind of healing abilities too.
What's that chick's name in Spawn? Right, the one that fights Spawn in the Spawn comics.
Oh,
Remember- Is her name
Angela.
Is it?
When it eventually came over to Marvel? Yeah, Angela.
Okay, it's okay. She get a Marvel? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's in Marvel now.
Okay.
Barely used, but she's in Marvel.
The character, or like the IP? I thought it was Dark Horse.
No,
or Dark.
well, I think she has her own spinoff as well. But she was a actual angel that came down to fight demons and stuff, and she fought Spawn a bunch of times. She had a massive sword that she used.
Does she still have the Spawn earrings?
I don't know.
Remember, like the comics, she had like little like Spawn pattern earrings that she would wear.
If they copyrighted, they probably had to remove them.
Yeah, but I digress. I still love you. But yeah, that's my number 2. She's dope. I can't wait for y'all to watch the movie. This will be something.
I'm look her up in there.
This is like
Danny, your number.
the movie's a throwback.
Danny, you're up on that note.
My number 2 is Sarah Carter, played by Shauna McDonald from The Descent.
Oh wow!
I love The Descent. I love that movie
Nightmare Fuel.
so much. I feel bad for this character because, like, her entire the movie starts as a horror movie. Like, the first 30 seconds is a horror movie. Her entire family dies. She's the final girl, like, within the first 5 seconds. Then she goes through all this trauma in this cave with all these weird creatures, and then she finds out that her dead husband was cheating on her with her best friend. That's crazy. I felt so bad for that lady, but she claws her way back to the surface and lives. And then she has to go back down in the descent too, and survives again. So I love her for that reason. She is my number 2, and I just absolutely love that movie. Caves scare the shit out of me. So the thought of there being meat-eating creatures in a cave that would just tear me to bits.
It's not even, you saying caves, that's being generous. There's a lot of like really tight, cramped spaces. It's like it's not even barely fit your whole body. Yeah, that's
That is like my worst nightmare. As a
Yuck, me too. I hate it. I hate it.
individual or being in a small space like that.
yeah.
Classic with
Oh, I hate it. Mhm.
Classified monsters. Yeah.
Ugh, yuck.
Yeah, she had a shitty life to begin with. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good choice.
Definition of life's hard, you die, bro. 'Cause Jesus.
No, truly. No, truly.
What was the one? There was one where it was like something like this that is set where a person like, or maybe an alternate ending where they fantasized they had escaped, and it turned out they were asleep and they woke up and they were still back where they were. I think it was the alternate ending for the Descent, where she originally had
Maybe
escaped.
it was.
And it turned out no, you hadn't escaped. You were fantasizing about being out there. You're still trapped out inside the.
Is that in the first movie? I can't
I
remember.
think it was.
Yeah, where like she was like a woman climbing in the caves under Paris. Was that like above so below or something like that?
In the catacombs.
Yeah.
That was As Above, So Below.
Is that-
Yeah, I
okay.
think that was that one.
Okay, I'm kind of blending some of those movies together. That may be why I'm blending the other.
Are the French
Yeah,
catacombs that deep? Like, is it where you can climb out? I know it was like a maze or like a literal catacombs. But I know it was that deep.
No, like look it up in Paris. There's like it's like a whole
It's like a basically
like
an underground
city underneath.
That's
Paris.
crazy.
Badass.
Yeah.
It's old ass places in the world, man.
Yeah.
So Charlie, you did your number 2, right?
Yeah, it's only for
Yeah,
number
it's
two.
It's about Otis, right?
Yeah, my number 2 is another Sarah. Sarah Connor. I mean,
The goat.
one of the most badass women
Yes.
in cinema, period. We
Mhm.
stopped paying attention to her after Terminator 2. Like, we don't recognize the later ones.
That's
But
right.
in those first two, top tier. I mean, to be thrown into a situation where you have a killer machine from the future whose only goal is to end your life. And to get out of that twice.
Mhm.
We're not acknowledging the rightness.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, it was badass when she pulled up in the 6th or 7th one where she pulled up with the rocket launcher on the bridge
Yeah.
with the shades on. I was like, hey,
She's a baddie. She's like a baddie. Yeah, her fits go crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No, she was
Great
awesome.
comeback, you look good.
No, for real.
Yeah, it was awesome. Because then
Picture
she said originally she wouldn't come back to do 2 unless she could be essentially start off kind of like crazy from the first one. She wanted to actually be a hardened from the first one. And of course she was with
Yeah.
Jay at the time. So he said, okay, that's fine. But yeah, she's my number 2 also. So Sarah Connor is like one of the benchmarks when it comes to like an amazing full-blown character. Also final girl, because she actually has a full-blown arc. She's not just an actual simple one-note being. She goes from being a simple, no offense to waitresses, but she goes from being a waitress to being a ready to begin soldier, so
Yeah.
to speak. So
imagine prime Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to murder you. Prime Arnold, like prime Arnold trying to murder you.
Even Senior Arnold, I'm scared of that fool.
right, that guy now. Today.
I'll kill
Yeah.
you.
No thanks.
Oh,
He's like,
nah.
I remember when he
Big
was.
ass Austrian man.
I remember when he was like trying to be governor of California, and I had a governor shirt. I loved that shirt so much.
Was he the actual governor? Did he win that?
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, he was the governor of California. I thought for a while.
You are. The governor.
Yeah.
He was well liked.
It's like him and what was it? Was it Kane? Was like a governor in like Ohio or something like that? Like Maine?
Yes. And
It's like the most random shit.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's so
the actual
weird.
wrestler. Yeah.
And just been sure also. Not at the same time though, but they were all
That's so funny.
yeah. Sarah Connor's a G. She's up there. Top tier.
Oh no, it's who's it?
No, this is my number 2. Somebody that was my number 2
That
also.
was number 2. Sarah Connor.
Actually, know what? I'm sorry. Sarah's my number 1. My number 2 was Sidney Prescott. So we already covered her. So.
Mhm.
I want to finish this out with one that I don't think anybody has. I've talked about this movie a couple times. I really enjoy it. And enjoy this actor for this. But Grace, aka Samara Weaving from Ready or Not. I adored this movie. I adored her in this movie. I loved it. It's a horror comedy, obviously, but it was so dope that she's really like taking down the family piece by piece, and then essentially like has a not a setup for the devil because she kind of sees the devil later on, but like just gets this entire family murdered from just getting married. Like she's going the happiest day of her life is supposed to be, or one of the happiest days of her life, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill my husband and his entire family in one night.
Great, because it's a game they're playing, right? It's a game where like they have to like.
So it's,
typically
yes,
what happens if you most of the time in this ritual they don't draw this game, but because of fate they do draw this game, and because of that they have to play the Ready or Not scenario. Right?
yeah, they made a deal with this like oil tycoon back in the day that was a devil that they wasn't aware of. So every time there's a marriage that happens, and like draw from this list of games. Because yeah, so your point is usually like checkers or like a regular game, but every now and then it'll be like ready hide and seek, and they have to kill that person. So you just can't get married to that person at that point.
And the thing is, you have to survive, but it's negated. The whole point is you have to kill her before sunup or something like that, right?
Yeah, if she doesn't die before something, the entire family dies and the curse is over.
Yes.
So she made it
And the
through.
thing is-
Everybody just blew up.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Humorously, because
awesome.
they're like, because it's never happened before where the bride survived. So like, what would happen? So they're kind of like, probably nothing's gonna happen to us, right? We're probably gonna be fine. It's probably just some old like superstition, and it shows them all like periodically blowing up.
Because it happened. Yeah, it is like the whole tradition started like during like the gold rush or like the oil rush, or not oil rush, but when they were doing the industrialization of America and getting to that oil. But the dope thing about that I saw the video where the set designer was talking about how they designed this dress. Because throughout the entire movie, she's wearing her wedding dress, and they make it like detachable, or like they make different versions of it, where as the movie's going on, the dress is like slowly ripping away and getting more blood on it, and it's like so as she's going through it, like you see like the actual like wear and tear on her, almost like in the Arkham game with Batman, where you see the bat kind of like deteriorating by the end. It was
by the end, it's mostly all red by the end too. She has a bandolier of bullets or shotgun shells.
Yeah, she picks up a crossbow and like it was just dope.
It's a very, very fun. It's a fun horror movie to watch.
Yeah, Samara Weaving's dope. I think I seen her.
There was a time when she was like maybe like the next big girl with Samara Weaving. That was kind of all chipping her.
Yeah, because she was on back in the day when they did The Babysitter with like King Batch and all the other TikTok creators, where she was like they were killing all those off.
No. Yeah.
Shout out Samara Weaving. Shout out to her.
Some
thick plot there. Thick plot. Yeah, that's my number one.
You're up next, day. You number 2 or 1?
Number 1. This is the last round.
My number 1 is Reagan McNeil, played by Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
She is technically a final girl, isn't she?
She's a final girl.
She's technically a final girl, and she was like straight up possessed by the devil. So, and she was saved by the blood of Jesus. So how could that not be my number 1 girl? Come on. She just like she goes through so much.
Oh, yeah, off camera.
She's just a little girl. No, truly on and off camera. And she's just a little girl throughout it. And it's like, yeah, she gets my number 1.
Agreed.
I wasn't going to include her, but I'm like, she's technically a final girl. So she's getting the number 1 spot.
Oh, no, we had to put her on the list. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, Linda Blair, super soldier for what she went through.
Yeah.
I know all the curses that were around that movie. And then she was, how old was she when she filmed that?
I'm not sure how old she was actually.
Like 6 or something like that.
No, she's a bit older. She's like 12 or like she's maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's probably closer to 12, but I know she had like nerve damage in her back from some of the scenes they made her shoot, and then all of like the curses and like you were saying, all the awful things that followed that movie and the deaths that were surrounding that movie. She's like a final girl in real life.
Did y'all hear the story where the director was like asking her when when he was trying to explain the whole activity with the cross situation, that scene, and he was asking like, hey, have you ever da da da? And she was like, he said that he asked her that, and she was like, he never asked me that. So I'm like, why would you lie about asking a little girl if she done that before? I don't understand. Bro,
Yeah.
like, why would you do that?
Yeah. Wait, what's the director's name again? I can't remember who the director was. I have to look it up.
Or
I'll let you in a second.
was it Frankenheimer? Charlie? No, producer. Our producer left. I'm looking at everything.
William Friedkin.
Friedkin. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's weird for that.
You can tell something wrong about him.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
No, for real. Like
Apparently
that name's kind of telling.
There was an actor where he would like because they instill actual fear in them, he would take a shotgun with blanks in them and like randomly on set shoot the shotgun off next to people's ears and shit. And they were like, bro, cut that shit out. Cut that shit out.
The same thing with the cold scenes. That was like a real life cold set. They like turned that place into a refrigerator, and they were all like suffering on set.
They're freezing their those. I mean, I get the whole like trying to go as
authentic,
trying to be as actual, like, you know, like Daniel Day-Lewis or whatnot, where you're so invested in the characters, but it's just sometimes you're pushing your actors that much. It's doing more harm than good, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Like 2 people left with like permanent injuries from that set. Linda Blair, and then the woman that played the mother, she also left with a permanent injury from one of the scenes, and they used both of the scenes in the movie that they were injured in. So like you can like feel that on screen. Like that adds to the unsettlingness of The Exorcist.
I still won't rewatch that movie Tuesday.
Yeah, because that's the one that messed you up.
I've only seen it like start to finish 2 times, and I avoid watching it. I do not like watching that movie.
I snuck
Has a
that at my
weird,
grandparents'
watching
house.
it makes you feel has a weird air around it. It's almost like you're watching something. On
It is, and like the more you learn about the movie, the more uncomfortable it makes you.
Agree.
That was my era. Where like most kids in that era, in that time period, they have like, you know, when you like watch something you're not supposed to watch, whether it's like a spicy movie, you put you have it on that channel, and then you get the last channel is like Cartoon
No,
Network,
literally.
and you have the last button. Most kids did that for the spicy movies. I did that for horror movies at my grandparents' house.
No,
I'm
for
watching
real.
a
That
horror
was
movie.
The Exorcist, though.
Switch it back.
That was The Exorcist, though. Like the first time I watched it behind a blanket, like just barely peeking over. It's a terrifying movie.
How old were you?
That's still my scariest movie. The first time I watched it, I think I was maybe 13. It's funny because I live in like the same, not apartment complex, but like little place that I used to live. And I remember the first time I watched it, and it's right down the street from where I live right now.
Is
So
it hard
even
for
just
that to go
driving
near
by
there?
that house, driving by that house, I remember seeing that for the first time and how I felt after I watched that movie. And
That's
it
memories.
scared the shit out of me. That's my number one scary movie because it absolutely terrified me.
I think I watched like almost the entire season of SpongeBob to like cleanse my mind after.
No, for real, like some claymation Christmas movies, something like, let me go read my Bible or something. I'm gonna be right back.
Claymation Christmas, yeah.
No, literally claymation Christmas or like just some Bible stories, some Veggie Tales or something.
Larry Boy. Hey, y'all know Larry Boy. If you know, you know.
Really?
Yeah, because for me it was definitely Nightmare on Elm Street because I saw it when I was 5, and it just because also the whole thing with Nightmare on Elm Street is Freddy comes after kids exclusively, mainly teenagers, but he says
When you're
it's-
sleeping.
when you're sleeping. So I was effed up for I have it here.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, and the Otis was Exorcist because that crab walk.
Yeah. No, I did that to myself. Like, I mean, my dad, it was a Halloween season. I want to say this is like 1997.
Mm.
Yeah. I wanted to watch horror movies, and my dad said, "You don't want to watch that one." I was like, "Yeah, I do want to watch that one," and I picked The Exorcist.
You told me I didn't.
Yeah.
Nah, I do.
He was right.
That's when Otis backfired on his ass so quick.
But so did you actually were you sitting there in the room with him, or did you like watch it? You sneak away. Okay, he didn't stop you doing it.
Whole time your dad looking at you like, look at your ass, look at you. Whole fucking mess.
No, my goodness. No, because I felt it like that. That movie definitely leaves a mark on you for sure. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that'll make you think about some stuff.
it will. Well, I do think that's the one of the very very few horror movies that actually did win some awards. I think did it win Best Picture? I know. It won
I'm
a
not
couple
sure,
Oscars.
actually.
I'm looking right now. I think it did win Best Picture actually.
Yeah, but going on to my number one. It's one that Danny said earlier, and it's Ellen Ripley. I mean, top tier badass, brilliant. Literally, if you would listen to her from the beginning, just listen and don't investigate this abandoned ship in the middle of space. Things go completely different, right? It's the reason why, like, I am hesitant, like, in space travel video games, like, going to explore. Oh,
The
this
derelict
is
ship.
derelict ships. Like,
That's so funny.
do something else.
I love that.
No, but still fantastic movie. Sigourney Weaver was excellent. Like, some of the best acting I've seen in horror movies even to this day. The ultimate praise, as it was my dad's favorite franchise growing up, and it's kind of adapted into being one of my favorites too. I still rewatch the older Alien and Aliens regularly around this time. That's a tradition for me. So, kudos to Sigourney Weaver there.
Yeah, you gonna love Romulus then, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You gonna love
Excited.
Romulus.
Oh my goodness gracious. It's so good.
Yeah, Romulus is very much a send up to Ripley, without being a too close to But yeah,
But yeah, y'all.
it is very much it's great.
Oh, go ahead, Mike, to finish it up.
No, great choice.
I was ready to close out because we've been approaching like almost, we've been on for a minute. Yeah. Like everybody's sort of like wind down now. So y'all, this has been the Then and Out podcast. Again, this has been the spooky edition. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I think we may have one more. Well, no, we don't have any more shows this month. I think by the next episode y'all see, I don't think it'll be November, right? I'm not tripping. Like next Sunday,
Maybe the 27th.
The 20th.
So we could probably
20th is today.
if because y'all planning on seeing Terrifier, right?
I need to see it.
I know Ethan is. I don't know if Otis was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely planning on seeing it. I can probably go see it by next week. Yeah.
Okay, we can talk about it again. Just because at that point we got another spooky episode of the Tank. Then we can get one more out. I would love to talk about that movie because I think it deserves to be talked about. It has a beautiful story from how it like the first movie came about and then all the support it got going forward. And I think it may be either one of, if not the highest grossing film right now in the theaters right now. Like people are seeing that.
Really?
It's doing pretty well.
Profit wise too, because it's a very not micro budget, but very low budget, very low budget.
Okay.
Because the first one had like little to no budget, and then I think he crowdfunded for the second movie. I think if I remember right.
You did, yeah, crowdfunding.
And then the studio gave him a little bit of bread on this one, and he used every bit of that dollars for these special effects,
Good for
practical
him.
effects.
I appreciate that. We love that.
Danny, you would have loved this movie. I know you will. Just
just
for
I
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
But yeah, y'all, this has been Captain Diesel, the Louis V, King of the Comics, and Danny from the Then and Out podcast. You guys have any other closing sentiments or shout outs or things you want to discuss before we get up out of here?
No.
Lelouch?
Of course, check out blur.com. Join our Discord. We got our D&D light sessions every Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. Got our community game nights on Fridays starting 9:30 to 11. And check out the Blurred Sports merch on the site. We got a lot of stuff rolling out that's doing pretty well right now at New York Comic Con.
My end, I've been going ridiculously insane. I've dropped like 6 or 7 videos this month for Halloween. I think the only other 2 things that are either actively going on the channel or I plan to do my review for Hellboy the Crooked Man. I've been waiting for that. Well, it's released now overseas, but I got to find a solid copy so I can review that film. And right now, me and Ethan are doing a playthrough of Silent Hill 2, which, Otis, if you have time, I want to jump in on that. You're more than welcome for like a classic throwback for the stuff we've been doing. But yeah, we're just playing through Silent Hill 2. It's been an experience to say the least thus far. But yeah, that's all I got going on the dojo side of things. So thank you guys for tuning in. And then Danny, you got some stuff coming up. Yeah, it's not out yet, but you got some stuff you're working on. You want to talk about it yet? You want to keep it under wraps?
Is it a?
Well, there's going to be 2 episodes of me talking about some stuff, so tune in.
That's all you need.
Eventually.
And just
That's literally all you need. No more than that.
open her, put the stuff together. It's gonna be some heat.
Yes.
It's gonna be some gas.
Yes.
I'm so excited to see this. But yeah, y'all, this has been us of the Then and Out podcast. We will see you guys next time.
You
Peace.
see how nobody from the Evil Dead made it onto any of our lists. Just a right there.
All right.
There's only one movie that has the main that survives. No, 2 of them do. Sorry, 2.